the new season with TalkSport's £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lothering's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League preview show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it. Rashford hits it. Oh, it's a goal. It's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Iwelumo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League preview show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back. Less than 15 minutes to go at St Mary's as Southampton prepare to face Liverpool. Obviously, with it being an FA Cup weekend, we have fewer Premier League games than normal, but we will be featuring as our main game tomorrow afternoon Newcastle United against Crystal Palace. We've also got the games between Bournemouth and Burnley and Huddersfield and Leicester City both covered as well. Everton Arsenal on Sunday and Chelsea West Ham on Monday. I suppose the biggest of those games, David, is Newcastle against Palace. Both of those two clubs look as if they've probably done enough. Palace 36 points, Newcastle 35, although Southampton would overtake Newcastle were they to win tonight. But I would imagine both of those managers will be telling their team that another win and it's job done.
Yes, and I think, look, Newcastle, I think it's 5 in a row they've won, so terrific home form. They've got Rondon and Perez, obviously, who are keeping the home fans certainly happy, but they're up against Crystal Palace, who've got the joint best away record, and 20 of their points. I mean, their home form is shocking. You wouldn't want to be a Palace fan at Selhurst Park, because basically they're served up not a lot of entertainment. But away from home, they've had some terrific results. Now, everyone harks back to the Man City result in December. That was a long time ago. But still, they beat, the champions. Yeah. On their day, obviously, they can, raise it. They were disappointed against Tottenham. Possibly, a hard game, wasn't it?
Yes,
First
it was.
one in the stadium.
I agree. I'd have been unhappy if I'd have been a visiting supporter having to play that
Absolutely.
occasion. You just knew Spurs were going to win.
Exactly. And look, they've got a difficult game in another big stadium, huge stadium, and the home fans will be really cheering for them because look, they're safe, but they're kind of not safe. So they do need some points on the board. So I think that'll be a really entertaining game. Both sides, I think, need something out of that.
And Burnley, I mean, again, a strange team. They're still fourth from bottom, Burnley. They've lost 4 in a row, but they did prior to their win at the weekend, which, as you mentioned, was a massive win. Bournemouth, obviously, are so much better at home, and they're a team whose current form is pretty poor as well, only 1 in 5. So Burnley won't go down to the Vitality with too much fear. Well, then they're another team like Southampton tonight that if they get a win, it's going to make it very difficult for anyone to overtake them.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally they've been very strong at home, haven't they, Bournemouth, because their away record is awful, we know that. Great to see Callum Wilson back, but I think they're up against Leicester last week, who are a little bit too strong. Going against Burnley, who had a really, really good result. I mean, young Dwight McNeil's really come to the fore, hasn't he? He looks a terrific young player. And Sean Dyche, 300 games as manager. A terrific achievement. Can Bournemouth be the best South Coast side? I don't know. Can they finish higher than a Brighton and a Southampton? For me, with a 10,000 capacity stadium and the players they've got and the money they've spent, I think that's a pretty good season.
It is a good season. They finished 9th in their first season in the Premier League. Bournemouth. Huddersfield against Leicester is a bit of a nothing game, really. Leicester are happy in mid-table, and of course Huddersfield are already down. But of course we have the small matter of the FA Cup. There are 2 semi-finals this weekend, both of them at Wembley. You can hear commentary on the first of them tomorrow afternoon, 5:30 UK time. Tom Rennie and Steve Lomas for Manchester City in pursuit of a quadruple against Brighton. Let's get a flavour of that one and hear from the respective managers of those 2 clubs, Pep Guardiola and Chris Hughton.
I think when I was young in Catalonia, so it was most quite usual to see the final, the FA Cup, than the Premier League games. So in the tradition in old Wembley, that both managers go in there in front of the players, so they hold the trophy. So I've never been there, and I cannot deny how nice it would be personally, but I think for the players as well and for the club. So the club won, I think, 5 times the FA Cup, so it's not too many history, so we have the challenge to get another one, so we try.
We know what a big occasion Saturday is, and one thing that we've always stressed to the players, and this is going through the rounds, is that there are some very good players that never get the opportunity to get to a final, and some not even to a semi-final. So what they have got to do is make the most of it and try and put in a performance, irrespective of any result, that they can be proud of.
That's incredible gesture, nice. So I think these kind of gestures make a better society for everyone, for everybody, not just from the point of view. So football players are human beings, and we live all together, and these kind of gestures dignify who he is, the club, and everybody. So I like it.
This is probably to put a perspective on how it is to be a manager that you want to really enjoy, but it's difficult because what you want to be able to do is that you want to be able to be part of a game that you can play a big part in as a team, and of course have an opportunity. But we know it can go either way. We know that that can happen, or we come up against a brilliant Man City team on the day that it's very difficult to do too much about.
Daniel Rose has not to do that. So next Tuesday, if I see him, I will tell him. So the best way to fight and combat this kind of terrible situation is fighting, being there every day. So, and of course, because he's an extraordinary football player.
Pep Guardiola there, touching on the racism rows which have blighted football in the last few years. I don't think we'll get any of that in the semi-final, particularly at Wembley. I'd be very, very surprised. I do hope not. But David, it's difficult to see anything other than the big Manchester City win. They're in tremendous form, and Brighton certainly aren't.
No, they're not. I mean, they're very fortunate. Canton was lucky to actually be facing Man City because they were awful against Millwall. Very fortunate to be the beneficiaries of a terrible goalkeeping error, which got them basically to penalties, and you know that we know the rest. So I think it's going to be a very difficult game. I think Man City are going to have far too much. I mean, look at the bench the other night against Cardiff: Sterling, Walker, Kompany, Gundogan, and the two Silvers. And that was their bench. So look, they're going to have far too much for Brighton here, and this is going to be a comfortable victory. And I think even the fans think it's going to be comfortable because they've sent about 5,000 or 6,000 tickets back. Or whether it's a bit of fatigue or you know they're bored of going to Wembley. I don't know.
It's an expensive business covering Manchester City, though, isn't it? If you're Brighton, Wolves, or Watford, it's a massive, huge occasion, which probably less so for City, to be honest. But anyway, that's coming up. The winners will play one of two clubs that David played for, Watford and Wolves. They meet at Wembley in the second semi-final at 4 o'clock on Sunday. We've got that one covered as well. But here and now, it's Southampton against Liverpool. Let's hear from the two bosses in this one, Ralph Hasenhüttl and Jurgen Klopp.
In some areas against this team, to take risk is horrible because they immediately win the ball, and then it goes very quick. There's a lot of speed on the pitch. So I think we must be brave in the right areas and play football in the right areas. And then we showed that we also can score against these big teams and get a good result against these big teams. But that is a really, really tough challenge, yes.
Well, that's what you expect and what you hope for when if a player is coming in, that he makes the whole team better. That's how it is, and that's how good players are. So, and he's obviously a very good player, and of course he makes players better around them. But he's so important to us, and it's not only as a player, as a person as well. He's a brilliant boy. Everything is. I couldn't say a bad word about him even if I wanted. It's difficult, really. So that's how it is. But on the other hand side, and he knows that as all the other know it as well, that you need the boys around. It doesn't work. And there's one situation now, and there are always situations. A 1 versus 2 situation. He needed Ali, of course, to be there, but at the end he did it. It felt like 50 seconds alone, and he decided 100% right. But on the other hand side, they still could have scored in the situation.
We know how tough it is and how tough it was so far to get the right points in the right moment, and there are still a lot of points to get. So it's important that we stay on focused, and I think the results yesterday in the evening were good for us. Sure, it will give a little pressure from us, but it's still a long way to go. And the earlier we have the 40 points, the better it is. And so we have to stay focused for the rest of the season.
It's always like this. I don't know what number we had, what the three boys had last year at the same time, but this time I think it's 17, and probably 14, 15, roundabout. So that's impressive again. So that's how it is. And of course you have to, if you have only one last year we had one with 40 or what, and the others didn't have that much, and then you think, well, maybe we rely a bit too much on that, and this year we don't rely only on most goals, but he's still in a very good position in comparison to all the other players. So it's 17 goals in this moment in time is good.
The two teams are in the tunnel. Southampton and Liverpool is coming up. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Alexander-Arnold again to return it. Mo Salah in space, heads it goalwards. Oh, Lloris has missed it. It's gone in. Off Alderweireld, I think, for the own goal. Liverpool back in front with 30 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. Scenes of jubilation, of celebration, of relief more than anything at Anfield. Somehow they have found a way.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
He's knocked up for Brighton, edge of the area, on his left foot. Curling one. Oh, it's a stunner. Anthony Knockout gives Brighton the lead again. In a goal that will be played time and time again. There can't have been too many better hits in this derby over the years. It flies into the top corner and Matt Ryan flies down the pitch to join in the celebration.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
It's Ward-Prowse! It's in! It's magnificent from James Ward-Prowse. He, like Valeri, has scored for the second game running. It's another magnificent free kick. Hazard into the corner. What a goal from Eden Hazard. That was brilliant from the Belgian. Chelsea have huffed and puffed, and out of nowhere, an inkling, a tiny gap in the corner, sent a low curling effort beyond Patricio into the left corner of the net. That is brilliant from the little maestro.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Cardiff City legend Danny Gavidan joins us on the Preview Show. He's got some new teeth. The former Millwall captain Matt Lawrence with us on the Preview Show. Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor is on the Preview Show this week.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Southampton against Liverpool from St Mary's Stadium. I'm your host, John Anderson. Alongside me is the former Southampton, Watford and Leicester striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. Can Liverpool return to the summit of the Premier League, or will Southampton maintain their recent good form and take a giant stride towards safety? This is a game which will hugely affect both ends of the Premier League table, and on a weekend where Manchester City's thoughts are with the FA Cup, Liverpool's determination simply must be to overhaul them and regain the top spot in the Premier League. That they can only do with a victory. A draw would not be enough. Manchester City currently on 80, Liverpool on 79. Liverpool are wearing a violet mauve strip which makes them rather look like the Italian club Fiorentina. Southampton are in their traditional red and white stripes and black shorts. They're much improved, Ralph Hasenhüttl's team. They've won their last two here, and they've also won at Brighton as well. Here's Firmino trying to get Liverpool into a positive frame of mind from the start. Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross goes all the way across to his opposite fullback Andrew Robertson. Expect those two to be a big source of crosses for the front three, with Mo Salah still looking to get his 50th Premier League goal for Liverpool. He's been stuck on 49 for a while. If he does score tonight, he'll become the fastest Liverpool player ever to reach the 50 and the third fastest in Premier League history. Here's Joel Matip, the tall, rangy centre-half from Cameroon. Back it goes to Alisson. He's dressed in shocking pink. You can't miss Liverpool tonight, can you?
Well, no, and you can't miss Van Dijk either, because as soon as he gets on the ball, you can hear the crowd booing him, which I think's a little bit unnecessary. Yes. I mean, look, they signed him for peanuts, made 70-odd million on him. He was a terrific servant for them. You can't look. He didn't. Yeah, did he go on strike? I'm not so sure, but I don't think he should be booed anyway.
No. Here's Firmino trying to play the ball in. He's cut out by Nathan Redmond. It seems that half the Liverpool team, or squad anyway, are former Southampton players. Sadio Mane, of course, scored 25 goals in 75 appearances for Saints. Adam Lallana, who's on the bench, made plenty. In fact, he's not on the bench tonight, I beg your pardon, but he made 265 appearances for Southampton. Dejan Lovren is also a former Saint. He is on the bench. Here's Alexander-Arnold throwing the ball to Wijnaldum, who finds Fabinho, the tall figure. He and Naby Keita have been restored to the midfield. I'll take you through the lineups in full. Southampton have Angus Gunn in goal. The back five, I should say, really, or 3-4-3, depending on which way you want to look at it. But anyway, the two wing backs are Jan Valeri and Ryan Bertrand. The midfield, the central three, Yoshida, Bednarek and Vestergaard. Then it's Oriol Romeu and Pierre-Emile Fjøjberg, James Ward-Prowse, and up front Shane Long and Nathan Redmond. For Liverpool, Alisson is in goal. Back four is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, who's passed a fitness test on an ankle injury, Joel Matip and Andy Robertson. The midfield three, Gino Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Naby Keita, and up front Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino. Sadio Mane's goal-scoring record couldn't be in sharper contrast to Mo Salah's. He's got 5 goals in his last 4 games and 11 in his last 22. Firmino has got 3 goals in his last 5 games. So while Salah hasn't been scoring, Mane and Firmino certainly have.
No, that's right. But I tell you what an atmosphere. You can hear it.
Yeah.
The crowd are really up for this. I mean, they're willing, Southampton, to go and win the ball higher up, and they've done that. They've pressured Matip a couple of times, won it back, just kept the pressure on, got the home fans on board here.
I thought they had a corner there, and with some justification. I thought it came off Matip's head. But Ralph Hasenhüttl looks on, and only a goal kick is the outcome. We've had 4 minutes, and Southampton looking to end what's been a pretty dismal run of recent results against Liverpool. They haven't scored against them in 5 games. Here's Nathan Redmond looking to put that right. He's got Bertrand out wide. Bertrand gets to the byline, cuts it back, useful ball, and Virgil van Dijk heads it behind, and this time it will be a corner for Southampton.
Well, that terrific tempo we spoke about, I said at the start of the show, this would be a difficult game for them because Southampton, they start really well. Good pressure, won the ball back off Keita, then they broke Redmond out wide. Good through, Bertrand gets to the byline, just digs the ball out, aiming for Shane Long, just went over his head. Van Dijk with a clearing header. Good start though from Southampton.
Yeah, it is. We're inside 5 minutes. First corner of the game to the home side. It's going to be taken by James Ward-Prowse, whose set-piece deliveries, particularly from free kicks, have been sensational just recently. Here's his corner. It's nodded away by Matip, almost to halfway. Back it comes from Valeri, and that's a good ball to James Ward-Prowse. Both of them scorers in that fantastic win against Tottenham Hotspur here. The last time this stadium was in use. That's an aimless ball forward, though. It's headed back by Wijnaldum to Alisson, and I think Liverpool have perhaps already got a feeling, if they didn't know it before, that this could be a tricky game for them.
Yeah, as I said, I think this is going to be a potential banana skin, and I pointed to Klopp, didn't I, while you were talking,
yes,
because to me he looked very pensive on the bench and concerned, and I wonder whether he's feeling the same thing as well.
Well, here's Virgil van Dijk, formerly of Southampton, of course, finding Fabinho, who's won a title in France with Monaco. This is Joel Matip. I was mentioning the goalless spell for Southampton against Liverpool. Graziano Pelle was the last player to score for Southampton against a Liverpool team. That was in a 3-2 win which was prior to tonight 457 minutes of football without a goal. They haven't won in 5, and they've lost all of the last 4, including a 3-0 defeat at Anfield earlier in the season.
Well, just looking at them here, Liverpool trying to break down this Saints side. I mean, they've got the back 5 in, and they've got basically 3/4 across the middle of the park, just leaving Shane Long on his own. And I don't know how many passes Liverpool's back 4 have had. There's probably about 100 already, just in and amongst themselves, but they haven't really gone anywhere. Van Dijk to Matip, maybe out to Alexander-Arnold, back to Matip again, to Alisson. Haven't really got over the halfway line with any real purpose so far.
Here's Alexander-Arnold, infield to Fabinho, just hustled by Shane Long, who's in the side today. Scorer of one of Southampton's most famous recent goals, actually, at Anfield in a League Cup semi-final 2 seasons ago, which clinched a 2-0 aggregate win. Southampton went on to lose the final to Manchester United. Shane Long has also scored twice in his Reading career against tonight's opponent, so they'll have to keep an eye on the little mercurial Irishman, although he's only got 1 goal in his last 29 games, and like Mo Salah, is 1 short of 50 in the Premier League. You're right about Jurgen Klopp. He looks pensive.
He does.
He does.
He hasn't looked like that, I don't think, in a little while. I mean, look, I looked at the bench and I thought, Shaqiri, I know he hasn't really been amongst the goals, but I think they're going to be hard to break down in Southampton, and I might have maybe gone with a bit more of a goal-scoring midfielder. As it is, he's got Keita and Fabinho, and well, look, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, this is not a shortcoming necessarily, but it is a fact that none of Liverpool's central midfield players are prolific scorers, are they?
No, absolutely not.
Here's Ryan Bertrand for Southampton, clips it into the box, useful ball, flick on, chance, Long scores! Shane Long, after 8 minutes, has put Southampton in front. A goal which will be celebrated as loudly at Manchester City as it will be on the south coast here. It was a simple flick on and Long control, and then buried it with his right foot. What an occasion to score your 50th Premier League goal. It's Southampton 1, Liverpool 0.
Oh, what a move this is. They work the ball out wide, Vestergaard to Bertrand. He spots the run of Højbjerg, who runs up, I think it's Wijnaldum, and he gets in front of Van Dijk. A little flicked header, then it goes over Matip, lands at the feet of Shane Long. Terrific little first touch to set himself. Then he just lashes it across Alisson, who had absolutely no chance. He was only 6 yards out, buried it into the bottom corner. But the pass from Bertrand makes it. It's a lovely little thing. Højbjerg with a flick on, bypasses everyone, good touch to kill it, and then smashes it into the corner. Well, I hate to say I told you so, John, but I did tell you so.
You did. You did indeed. Shane Long, it's only his 2nd goal of the season. His last one was in January against Leicester. But he's now got 4 goals in his career against Liverpool, and he's reached 50 in the Premier League. Landmark which Mo Salah has yet to reach for Liverpool, but we'll be hoping to more urgently now that Liverpool are behind. You can just see Pep Guardiola, can't you, in front of his giant TV screen, jumping up and down in excitement. It was a lovely goal, and Long took it really well. His first touch was excellent, and he just buried it with his right foot. Hugely experienced campaigner, of course, a Republic of Ireland international. He's only just come back from a groin injury, and well, Ralph Houghton-Little picked him ahead of Charlie Austin. That's paid off. Here he is again, Long. Not such a good ball this time. He finds Ward-Prowse, but here's Jan Valeri, the young right wing-back, looking to bamboozle his way past Robertson. Leaves it for Ward-Prowse. Been a really good start by Southampton, but they've been halted there by a flag on the far side. I mean, quite apart from Liverpool's title ambitions, that is a massive goal for Southampton, isn't it? I mean, if they can get, we said it before, you got the impression that Southampton would see a draw as an excellent result.
Yes, I mean, I guess just look at this attacking, a good long ball forward, but they just keep picking up the second balls now as well, Southampton. But I just felt, the stories, the noises coming out of Southampton, that break they had, they worked on a different shape. They've now got a couple of different ways to play. Their high tempo, the points that he's got on the board, since he's taken over from Mark Hughes. I had a feeling this would be a really difficult game. And the tempo they play at. And look, the atmosphere is it's fantastic.
It really is. Just had a close-up of Danny Ings sitting in the stand, of course, ineligible today due to the conditions of his loan. Presumably will be delighted to have seen Southampton go in front of his current club. You can't really see a career for him at Liverpool ahead of this. I don't know if they'll take him back or not, whether Southampton would want to take him permanently, but he's been their top scorer. But the man who's come in for him, Shane Long, has got the early goal. And Saints lead. Don't forget Twitter, you can have your say at TalkSport Live. There are loads of Liverpool supporters out there who won't be very happy. It'd be nice to hear from some Southampton fans as well. SC Canary says greetings from sunny South Carolina. I always appreciate the great coverage on match day. Keep it up. Let's go Saints! So there's a happy Saints fan. And Zeze Saganash, I think that is, listening in Nigeria. I hope Liverpool lose. Well done, guys. So that's two who are cheering Southampton. Keep them coming. We'll do our best to read out as many as we can.
Well, they are getting really good joy here, Southampton, when they switch the ball out to their wing-backs. There's an awful lot of space out there. It's just forcing Mane and Salah to do an awful lot of tracking back, which you don't really want them to do, but this formation forces them to do that.
Højbjerg is trying to get the ball forward. It's Virgil van Dijk just ahead of Shane Long. I think Long's going to win too many in the air against Virgil van Dijk today, but he showed his prowess on the ground, didn't he?
Absolutely, but he doesn't want the ball there. He wants the ball in the channels. Yeah. Give him something to get onto. That one was too straight. Easy for Van Dijk. I mean, there's 2v1 there. Van Dijk and Matip up against the lone front man, Shane Long. He needs it in the channel so he can use that speed.
Here's Fabinho. Southampton fans are making a lot of noise. It's forward towards Salah, but it's an easy claim for Angus Gunn, the goalkeeper, who's barely had anything to do, really. Son of Brian Gunn, of course, a famous Norwich City and Scotland international, although Gunn Jr. has pinned his colours to the mast of England. And he's knocked it long towards Long. And here's Redmond. Promising break by Southampton. Redmond's shown a bit too much of it to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who squeezed it away at the expense of another corner for Southampton. And Liverpool, just at the moment, are rocking on their heels a little bit.
They are. I mean, they would have known that this was coming, this high-tempo start, but one thing you don't want to do is give away corners, especially with Ward-Prowse's delivery.
Here's James Ward-Prowse again, scored magnificent free kicks against Manchester United at Old Trafford and against Tottenham here. I mean, the only game that Southampton haven't won in the last four was at Old Trafford, where they ran them close. Wonder goals by he and Valeri. Here's the latest corner, headed away by Van Dijk. Back it comes, not a very clean delivery of the ball though by Højbjerg, and it's knocked away by Alexander-Arnold. But most of the game has been played inside Liverpool's half, and we've already had 15 minutes, which tells you just how well Southampton are playing so far.
Yeah, well look, I mean, they did struggle a couple of turns in Tottenham's formation against them. They did after half-time much better, but it needs to obviously affect change here a bit sooner, Klopp, otherwise we'll run out of time.
Robin, our friend from Brazil, is enjoying the sunshine there. He's making a good point about racism. He says don't kick it out, but smack the racist in the mouth, and not literally, obviously, but you're quite right. So sorry for the players who suffer. Here's Matip coming forward for Liverpool, finding Salah. Is this to be his moment? It's cut out by Vestergaard. Salah has it back though inside the area and finds Mane, whose header is really well saved by Angus Gunn, and the follow-up attempt by Naby Keita is deflected wide. That was Liverpool's most clear-cut chance, their only clear-cut chance really so far, and Mane, who's been the man with the goals lately for them, almost had another, but it was well saved.
Oh, he should have scored though, to be honest. I mean, it's a lovely ball in from Mo Salah, but he heads it down right in the middle of the goal, bounces up in front of Gunn. Yes, he had to react, but it was straight at him in the corner. Should be a goal. He's 6 yards out.
Well, it's given the Liverpool fans something to celebrate, or at least to get excited about, which hasn't been the case hitherto. It was Salah who initially got into the area. You're right about Mane's header. He will be disappointed. He had quite a lot of the goal to aim at to Gunn's left, but he put it too close to the keeper. Notwithstanding that, it was a good save, reaction save, because he wasn't far from goal.
Yeah, I mean, he was middle of the goal, though. I mean, either side, a yard or two, it would have been in.
Here's Mane again. As Liverpool wake up now, it's aimed towards Salah. It's cleared by Southampton only as far as Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum loses control. It's hacked away by Bertrand, but Liverpool are beginning for the first time in the game, and somewhat belatedly, to look like they are a threat. Here's Mane again, midway inside the Southampton half, clips the ball away towards the near side. Trent Alexander-Arnold plays a clever ball in with his left foot. Firmino heads it away, and it's straight to a Southampton player. Long, that's a very clever touch to Ward-Prowse. Those two have dovetailed well. Actually, it was Romeo, even though Ward-Prowse and Long have dovetailed well tonight. It was Oriol Romeo who got there in midfield.
Well, he just counted really quickly again there, Southampton. They're breaking with real speed, but Firmino, I don't know what he was trying to do there. The ball came into his head. He had Salah on the inside, just a little flick, a deft flick inside, he would have been in. Instead, he headed it basically back towards his own goal. Southampton picked it up and then broke, and now they're in the opposition half.
So Liverpool's half with a throw, which is flicked on harmlessly by Long. Ifeadi Agudagwu says, "Hi guys, hoping for a Liverpool win," and Salah to end his goal drought. Olufemi, how long will this goal cost Liverpool the title chase? Referring to Shane Long, we're just seeing a replay of it. Good goal it was. He's listening via City FM, and Jesse is with us as ever, listening in Uganda. I know how many of you will be longing to see the result remain as it is. Plenty of Shane Long related puns there. Well done.
I mean, the good thing about the goal, the Southampton one, is they had about 4 or 5 players actually in the box. That's really brave, because a lot of sides don't commit that many players forward.
Here's Bertrand getting the ball into box. Long again! Oh, he miskicked it. It was a glorious opportunity for the Irishman to make it 2-0. And he is furious that he didn't, because it was an inviting cross after a lax piece of defending by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Bertrand put it in. Long made a great run and just didn't really make any contact before Van Dijk scooped it over for a corner.
Well, I mean, it's so naive here, Liverpool. They're playing out. They knew Southampton were pressing high. They've done that. They won the ball back again from Alexander-Arnold. A super cross from Bertrand along the 6-yard line. Shane Long's gone with it first time. Completely missed his kick. Should have been 2-0.
It's a corner. James Ward-Prowse. Southampton fans are beginning to believe that a second goal might not be too far away. Ward-Prowse with an outswinger this time. Up they go. It's the very tall figure of Yannick Vestergaard, who gets up all 6'7" of him. I think that's over 2 metres if you're using metric. We've got listeners in the United States. Kevin K. Cater is a Manchester City fan, it seems, in Des Moines, Iowa. And Bruce Jones is listening in Tunnel Hill, Georgia. Warren B, good afternoon from Flagstaff, Arizona. Southampton shocks the league, and he's predicting a 3-0 win to the Saints. Well, it doesn't look that outlandish at the moment. Here's another chance. The ball is nodded in by Valeri again towards Long, who Liverpool don't seem to have any way of picking up at the moment. Here comes Saints again, driving forward. This time the ball is hit low and hard, but straight into the gloves of goalkeeper Alisson.
Well, they're all over the place
Liverpool, aren't they?
They are an absolute shambles at the minute, Liverpool. I mean, they're playing out from the back. They're giving the ball away for fun. This is a terrible start.
It is. Manchester City fans listening will be enjoying it though. Here's Nathan Redmond. They're playing with a spring in their step and real confidence now. Southampton. Valeri trying to get past Keita, finding Redmond again, who gets it back to Ward-Prowse. Now Romeo. They're controlling the game. Liverpool have had one chance and failed to take it. Southampton have had 3, one of which they have scored from. Here we go, Eddie Kenny, final stretch of a 7-hour, 5-straight drive en route to Augusta National, spent with TalkSport, hoping Southampton can carry on from this fantastic start. Drive safely, Eddie. My goodness me, you realise the distances involved in the United States. If you drove 7 hours across Britain, you'd end up somewhere in Scotland if you left London. Here's Joel Matip. We're on the south coast of England here in Hampshire. Cricket season started today in England. A few county championship matches, but quite a lot of rain still in the air. It's not a particularly warm night in Southampton, but the rain has held off here, fortunately. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to get a cross in, and it's swept behind by Valeri, who wasn't really under any great pressure, but decided for safety first to put it behind for Liverpool's first corner of the night.
That's a little bit better from Liverpool. They need to respond here because this has been arguably, I think, their worst 20 minutes of the season at probably the worst time.
Corner's been taken deep, and it comes from Robertson, who finds Salah, who shoots. It's blocked in the packed defence by Southampton. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold, centre midfield, driving forward the young England right full-back. It's cleared by Southampton again, but falls to Van Dijk. Van Dijk scoops it in towards Firmino. Not quite room for a shot. Might be able to set one up here, though, for Wijnaldum, but isn't in the end because his pass was inaccurate and Southampton get it away. And Liverpool, with a quarter of the game having now elapsed, are piling forward now in search of what they hope will be an equaliser. Here's Naby Keita finding Fabinho. We were talking about the lack of goals in that midfield. Keita and Fabinho have only one goal between them this season. Here's Mane trying to find Wijnaldum. Again, it's good defending by Liverpool, this time from Bertrand, from Southampton, I should say. Ball's gone dribbling into the Liverpool half, where it's picked up by Joel Matip.
Well, there's not a Southampton player in the attacking half, is there? All 11 behind the ball. Very difficult challenge here for Liverpool to try and break this down.
Here's Firmino. The ball is intercepted by Bednarek. Here's Ward-Prowse. Trying to roll it down the line, but there's no one there. Nate Aborrea is aboard the Blue Line trolley in San Diego, California, en route to Tijuana. Brilliant broadcast, thank you. Mane to score the equaliser, Salah to score the winner. I've actually done that trip from San Diego to Tijuana. I didn't take a trolley bus, I think I just got off the coach and walked across the border. Fascinating difference in the cultures you encounter between America and Mexico. Hit the tweets coming. We've got a lot of listeners in the USA, which is brilliant. I know a lot of people listen particularly on Sirius XM. Now then, here's James Ward-Prowse getting beyond his man, Redmond. Back to Ward-Prowse, Long's in the middle. Ward-Prowse can't find him because there's a block from Van Dijk. A long shot is fired in subsequently by Højbjerg, but no repeat there of the winner against Brighton. That was a big win for Southampton as well, wasn't it? Just down the coast. Brighton usually good at home. Here's Valeri. Robertson's taking it off his toes and put it out of play. 25 gone.
Yeah, still a terrific opening 25 minutes in from Southampton. They've been superb. A couple of times though, in the last 5 minutes, they've won back possession and looked for that long ball up to Long, and it hasn't quite been the right one. So I'm sure Hasenhüttl will like them to get on blob now when they do win it back right. Can we find someone, a Southampton player, and relieve the pressure a tiny bit, because they have been under it for about 10 minutes here.
Full of noise, the St Mary's crowd. Here's Ward-Prowse, who made an international appearance a couple of weeks ago. He came on as a substitute in England's game against Montenegro, which they won by 5 goals to 1.
Well, he wasn't in the initial squad, was he? Which a lot of people felt he should have been.
He's been terrific lately. He's been scoring goals at will, it seems. 3 goals in his last 4 games, and 2 of them spectacular spectacular free kicks.
We're just looking at how Southampton are pressing there. So when Alisson gets the ball in goal, they split Liverpool to play out, and Southampton go and press them high. Now, why are they doing that? Well, that's because at the back, Southampton, they're the land of the giants. You know, Vestergaard, Bednarek, Yoshida. So they want Alisson to kick long, then they can win the header. So Liverpool have got to be brave, but when they have played out, they've given it away. So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place at the minute.
Here's Matip for Liverpool, still trailing by a goal to nil, scored by Shane Long as early as the 8th minute. We're now in the 27th. Here's Van Dijk finding Fabinho. Still the Saints fans sing heartily. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. It hits Bertrand on the elbow. I'm not sure it was a handball. He was turning away. That's going to be something that's going to be looked at a little bit more closely next season when we have VAR in the Premier League. We do have VAR at the two FA Cup semi-finals at the weekend, and I'm told that they're going to show some of those VAR decisions on the big screen to give the fans a better idea of what is actually going on, which is welcome. Here's Fabinho driving forward for Liverpool. Only really created one clear-cut chance. Trent Alexander-Arnold sees his cross headed away by Yannick Vestergaard.
I mean, that's so easy for him to defend. The other reason, I guess, maybe they've got the three in there is when Alexander-Arnold gets it out wide, if he is delivering in the box, they've got three huge centre-halves. So it's got to be basically a pin-perfect cross to pick out, you know, Mane, Salah, who are not the biggest, and Firmino. So actually, their tactics at the minute, you have to say, are really working, Southampton.
Yoshida, one of those three, hooks the ball away. Alexander-Arnold controls with his chest, plays a square ball in towards Mane, up towards Salah, half cleared by Yoshida again, but not entirely away for Southampton yet. But then a poor ball by Fabinho will give Ryan Bertrand the chance to smash the ball up towards halfway. Long does really well and picks up the return pass as well from Redmond, and Redmond manages to find Højbjerg. This is promising for Southampton. Højbjerg, edge of the box, clips a ball. It's a little bit too long for Shane Long. There's been a lot of long puns tonight. That was a long ball which Long didn't have his eyes on for a while.
At least the initial pass up to him was much better. He was able to take it on his chest. Fed Højbjerg, who I've got to say has been outstanding so far, shown really good energy running from beyond, from that midfield position, but that time the cross in the box was slightly over here. But he's put in a real captain's performance so far, Højbjerg.
There's Mo Salah, gets a foot on it, but it'll come back to Vestergaard. Southampton have had 4 attempts to Liverpool's 3, only one on target from each team. The difference being that Long's went in and Mane's was well saved by Angus Gunn. Continuing to keep Alex McCarthy out of the starting 11, Angus Gunn. Now then, here's Naby Keita finding Robertson. Fabinho in centre midfield. 29 minutes gone at St Mary's, where Manchester City will be hoping the status quo is maintained. Firmino tries to produce an acrobatic volley on the turn, gets his foot underneath the ball and lofts it a long way wide.
Well, just not threatening whatsoever here. Liverpool looking at the bench. Who's he going to bring on to nick a goal? Origi? That's about it. So it's up to those players on the pitch, and that face that we saw from Klopp beforehand, that pensive face, concerned, it's even more concerned now. It's not too dissimilar. I have a feeling he was worried about this game beforehand, potential banana skin, and it's proved that way so far.
You're right, there aren't many goals on the Liverpool bench, really. James Milner has scored 6, but of course mainly from penalty kicks. Jordan Henderson hasn't scored yet.
To unlock a door.
Moreno won't score. Shaqiri's got what has he got? A couple this season, maybe a few more than that.
6. He's got 6.
Origi has got 3. Although Origi did once get a hat-trick against Southampton in a League Cup quarter-final. Here's Fabinho pushing the ball out of the centre circle, out wide on the right towards Salah, who clips it infield. It's found by Naldum. Support from Virgil van Dijk, who's picked out Andy Robertson. Robertson with more assists than any other defender in the Premier League this season, 9. Firmino tries to find Mane. They're just not quite meshing together, those 3 yet. But here's Salah finding Alexander-Arnold, crosses it. It's blocked by Bednarek and then cleared by Vestergaard. Up to halfway. Long again is underneath it. A flick header back from Matip goes all the way through to the magenta-clad goalkeeper Allison.
Well, that's where they've got to find him to feet or on his chest, Shane Long, because now they put one centre-half in front of him and one behind, so very difficult to find Shane Long on the turnover.
Samson Okpechime. The Saints are not going to keep up with this level, and as a result Liverpool will win a classic game by 3-2. It's a bold prediction. I don't know if you've got any money on that. Probably get quite good odds. But at the moment it's Southampton 1, Liverpool 0.
Well, I'm not a betting
deservedly
man.
So, I would say.
I'm not a betting man, but I've got to be honest, that result looks like a very long shot.
Yeah, it does.
Certainly how they've started here, Liverpool, anyway.
I'm not a gambling man either, not even on the Grand National, which is the big steeplechase of the calendar in racing. It takes place tomorrow in Liverpool at Aintree Racecourse, one of the great traditional sporting weekends. Grand National Day.
Well, they got a big fence to climb here, haven't they? Liverpool,
Beaches Brook. Yeah. They certainly have. And Southampton have been a team of thoroughbreds so far. They've played really well. And nobody, even the most staunch Liverpool fan, could begrudge Southampton their lead. Liverpool can't get anything together now. Who did that come off last? Two players came together. The ball has pinged all the way back behind the goal. I think it came off Joel Matip, so it's going to be a goal kick rather than perhaps the corner that he might have wanted. Ralph Hasenhüttl, well, he's done really well since he took over from Mark Hughes in early December, and if he wins this, it'll be 4 wins in 5 for a team who, as you said, under the previous incumbent, were looking like the sort of team that might well be fighting for their lives at the end of the season. But if they can win today, that might not be the case. And also, it's worth pointing out that none of Southampton's next 5 games are against any of the big 6 clubs. Their run-in is relatively kind. They have got games against the likes of Wolves and Watford, although those two may well be one of them setting their sights on an FA Cup final by the time the Saints come to town, because they meet on Sunday at Wembley. Here's Andy Robertson, bit of space left-hand side for him. Scottish international plays the ball in. It's repelled there by Southampton, who defended very well. Højbjerg now to Redmond. Redmond's got Long in his sights, and he's played it instead away towards Valeri. It's not going to reach him because Robertson's in the way, and Naby Keita will bring it over halfway for Liverpool and find Roberto Firmino. Firmino in towards Salah, who I think was offside before Maya Yoshida got a touch to take it behind. It's going to be a free kick and not a corner.
Well, I thought it was going to be basically one of the first touches for Salah so far after a half an hour. It's a tight call. I think it was right though, fractionally offside, but it's good interception from Yoshida, but he's been on the periphery again. Mo Salah struggling to get into the game.
Definitely a correct decision. Goalkeeper Angus Gunn has had one really good save to make. Other than that, he's been hugely involved. His right-footed ball veers away towards the left-hand side as Southampton attack. Matip is up ahead of, or above Long to get the ball away. It's going to be a Southampton throw. And Bertrand takes advantage of a discarded liquid bottle there and has a little bit of refreshment before he takes the throw.
I've seen that a couple of times now. Bertrand, he picked the ball up, then threw it back to Vestergaard. I'm not saying they're wasting time already, having a drink, little things like that. Yeah. Look, the referee's already said to him, get on with it. I'm not surprised.
We've still got 10 minutes of the first half left, so wasting time with 55 minutes of the game to go might be
well, it all adds up.
stretching a little. Here's Salah. He's been brought down by Yoshida, as he knows, says the referee, who incidentally is Paul Tierney. I haven't given him a name check yet, mainly because he's had a fairly unflustered and straightforward 35 minutes so far, but he's the ref. Southampton, remember, will go 8 points clear of the relegation zone. They would lift themselves above 2 of their rivals. Here's Mo Salah clipping the ball in deep. It's headed away by Ward-Prowse. It's still in the area though. Keita sets up. Robertson. Salah is there. Goes for the diving header. Makes no connection. Ball still in play though. Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. It's in. Naby Keita has squeezed the ball over the line, or has he? Yes, he has. The referee had a look, and Naby Keita has managed to get the ball via his head between the post and the despairing dive of Angus Gunn, and Liverpool are ahead. It's the Guineans' first goal for the club, and they've never lost a Premier League game that he's played in.
Well, I think Salah's offside here, ball over the top, linesman's allowed it to continue, gets to the byline, tries to get it in the box, it's deflected, headed out, then it comes back to Robertson, he puts it in from the left hand side, then it ends up on the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold keeps it in play, and what a ball this is. He's right on the end line, whips it across the 6-yard box. Keita gets up brilliantly, heads it down, Gunn gets a slight touch but can't stop it going in. What a ball in though from Alexander-Arnold, absolutely incredible cross.
It's come after 36 minutes. It's an equaliser for Liverpool. You're right about the Alexander-Arnold cross, it was absolutely magnificent. Naby Keita's header was firm and downward, and Gunn got across as much as he could, got a hand on it, but could only push it onto the post, from whence it then crossed the line. Should the keeper have done better there, perhaps?
Could have done. I mean, it was almost Gordon Banks-esque, wasn't it, in terms of how he was trying to palm it around the post. It was a similar area to the Mane header, but this one had a bit more direction.
Gordon Banks-esque, other than the fact that it went in.
You could see what he was trying to do, claw it away like that, but he just got it a bit wrong.
Yeah, he had to go a long way down to his left-hand side. It was quite a good header by Naby Keita, who is opened his Liverpool goal-scoring account. It's his 22nd Premier League game, and Liverpool have won 14 and drawn 4 of the other 21 that he has played in.
Well, great for him to get his goal, because we're talking about where these goals going to come from. Pops up in the box, good to see, but I tell you what, the cross is just out of this world.
Yeah, it was amazing cross, I agree. Got one young Englishman whose crossing ability resembles David Beckham in some ways on both teams, Trent Alexander-Arnold and James Ward-Prowse. Here's Virgil van Dijk, big goal for Liverpool. They're back in it at 1 apiece. It came 9 minutes before half time. Here's Mane to Firmino. Firmino far side gets another cross in. Mane this time. His header goes across, and I think just out of play before Alexander-Arnold hooked it back in, but I just wonder, having conceded that goal, Southampton now look a little bit vulnerable down either flank.
Well, again, danger comes from these balls in the box. Mane gets up really well. I just wondered, did Bertram ease him out of it? Did he just lean on him slightly? I mean, it's very faint, but he got up well there, Mane. He's got such spring.
Robin Michael Toms just before the goal tweeted, Shaqiri on for Keita please, and has just now tweeted Oda, okay, what do I know? It happens to commentators all the time. Go on about how a player's having a dreadful game, and then he has a moment of brilliance. Here's Shane Long, who's seen his early goal wiped out by that Keita equaliser, finding Redmond midway inside the Liverpool half. Here's Romeu, and Southampton lose the ball. It's with Firmino now, tries to squeeze it forward to Mane, but it's intercepted by Højbjerg, who finds Jan Valeri, who's a young fullback who likes to get forward, still only 20 years old. He switched allegiance actually from France to Tunisia, which is where his parents are from. He did play for the French under-18 team. He's on the ball here, scored an absolute cracker against Manchester United, and then got another against Tottenham. So he scored against 2 of the big 6 this season already. Well, the Liverpool fans really didn't have an awful lot to cheer before that goal, but they're certainly celebrating it now.
Well, they've got a long way to travel, haven't they, on a Friday night, bless them.
Yep, they do.
They've come in their droves, making a real good sound here now.
Chijoke Isundu says squeaky boom time in Lagos. That's the squeaky bum time. That was the Alex Ferguson famous quote about the end of the season and how nervous it can be. Saints are swinging the title race, and that's the result today. Points will be dropped by Liverpool, he believes, or I think it's a he. got 5 or 4 minutes left of the first half. The ball is hit long. Mane is offside.
Oh, how many offsides have there been?
And that was, you spotted that. That was definitely an offside. Mo Salah. It's another one where if we had VAR, Southampton would still be in front.
That's right. And I think this one was more obvious, certainly. They've just got to hold their runs a little bit better, Liverpool. But for the goal, he was certainly offside. Not a lot in it, but it was clear.
Yep, he was offside as he ran on initially. It was part of the process that led to that equalising goal. Southampton have now not kept a clean sheet against Liverpool in 6 games. Liverpool looking to do the double over the Saints after that 3-0 win at Anfield earlier in the season. I think we said it before. I still think a point would be welcomed by Southampton, given the quality of the opposition and their need for points. Here's the goal scorer Keita just pushing it to Van Dijk, who finds Matip. What Southampton won't want to do now, of course, is concede so close to half-time. But here's Trent Alexander-Arnold, swirling ball in, too close this time to trouble Angus Gunn, who gets both hands round it. And Alexander-Arnold, as he demonstrated with the cross for the goal, is something else, isn't he, when he gets forward? He's just so good.
It's like a wand. I mean, that one, just as you say, a bit too close to the goalie there, trying to pick out Firmino. But what a talent he is. Absolutely terrific.
Here's Andy Robertson, captain of Scotland, alongside Stuart Armstrong, who's also a Scottish international who plays for Southampton and is on the bench today. Here's Sadio Mane, and a bit of a misunderstanding between him and Salah. Salah will keep the ball alive close to the corner flag on the near side. Back it comes to Fabinho, and now Mo Salah again. He's found Matip. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Don't think there'll be a huge amount of added on time. And that's a poor ball infield by Alexander-Arnold that's intercepted by Højbjerg, who's been excellent for Southampton, and he's driving forward through midfield. He's got Redmond up ahead of him. Here's Nathan Redmond. Now this is an opportunity for Southampton. He was looking for long, and Van Dijk was in the way and got it away for a throw.
Well, Højbjerg just skipped past Fabinho in midfield there like he wasn't there. Just dropped the shoulder, went past him, ghosted past him. I think that'd be concerning for Jurgen Klopp in terms of how easily they've just cut through the Liverpool midfield. Højbjerg's been excellent so far.
It's a throw into Southampton. Ryan Bertrand will take it again. He's not in any huge, great hurry to do so.
As I said, look, it all adds up. You know, whether you waste time in the first half or
true,
in the second, it doesn't matter really.
Maybe Paul Tierney will add a little bit on. Here's Vestergaard. And the whistle's blown. I like this tweet. Neke Joseph Ejike says, funny how a few minutes ago you guys told us between Fabinho and Keita there was just a single goal. Make that 2 now. Enjoying the commentary from Lagos.
They've doubled
Nigeria.
it. They've doubled it. Brilliant. Amazing. 2 goals for the season.
That, my friend, is known as the commentator's curse, and we all suffer from it. And however hard we try, we never seem capable of shaking it off. I suppose it's one of the more charming things about this profession is that and what's so great about football generally is that things happen that you don't expect, which always makes it more interesting.
That's why it's such a great game.
Exactly.
That's why we love it.
Of course it is, yeah, absolutely. Although that said, there is an enormous gap between the Big Six this season and the rest. Something like 15 points, I think, between those clubs who are elite and the Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are currently the best of the rest in 7th position in the table. They're 15 points behind Manchester United. We're into stoppage time, of which there is only a minute. So Southampton's time wasting hasn't been penalised terribly strictly, and we haven't seen the I often wonder why on earth they bother adding a minute on in some cases, because you see the Champions League, sometimes the referees just blow straight on 45, say, well, there haven't been any stoppages. Why do you need to add a minute? Though. Yeah, there has, I suppose, with the bits of time wasting. But anyway, Yoshida has hoisted it forward towards Shane Long, whose early goal gave Southampton the lead, but it's since been equalised by Naby Keita's first for Liverpool. Here's Virgil van Dijk finding Andy Robertson. There may not be time for Liverpool to launch an attack here. I think they'll be looking forward perhaps to getting back into the dressing room and hearing what Jurgen Klopp has to say. May not be that complimentary actually. It certainly started very sluggishly, Liverpool, but they are level at the interval with Paul Tierney having just blown his whistle. Shane Long was included today with Danny Ings, the Liverpool loanee, ineligible, and scored within 8 minutes to give Southampton the lead. Liverpool, though, with 36 on the clock, saw Naby Keita scramble in his first goal for the club, a downward header which went in via Gunn's right hand and the post. And so at half-time, in a game which is crucial to both ends of the table, it is level. Southampton 1, Liverpool 1. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the Preview Show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. Here's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Has a run of Sterling to find, and he does find him in the area. Raheem Sterling for a hat-trick here! And the hat-trick is gobbled up by Raheem Sterling. What a player this young man is.
Tries to play it forward. Hayward puts it up in the air. Comes down. Charge for 3-2. It is 3-2. Perez scores again. Well, it's times to be a Geordie fan from 2-0 down to 3-2 up.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Really good delivery from Knockout. Here's the ball into the back of the net. And Andone has scored for Brighton. There is the breakthrough.
And Wolves with possession through Jimenez. Jimenez, he's going to go himself. There's another chance here. Go for 2-0 possibly. Jimenez! Raul Jimenez, 2-0 to Wolves. And Cardiff are now all at sea.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
First time touch trying to find Lukaku. He's broken his way and Lukaku's bent it into the bottom corner for what may well prove to be the winning goal in the final minutes of the 90.
He's usually unerring from the spot. Harry Kane, he's scored all his last 5 spot kicks. He faces Bernd Leno and scores again! And Tottenham Hotspur have levelled with 16 minutes to go. Harry Kane has now got 9 goals in 9 games against the Gunners. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back. Level at half-time at St Mary's. Here's Ryan Bertrand for Southampton. Clips it into the box. Useful ball. Flick on. Chance. Long. Scores. Shane Long. After 8 minutes has put Southampton in front. A goal which will be celebrated as loudly at Manchester City as it will be on the south coast here. It was a simple flick on and long control and then buried it with his right foot. What an occasion to score your 50th Premier League goal. It's Southampton 1, Liverpool 0. Here's Bertrand getting the ball into the box. Long again. Oh, he miskicked it. It was a glorious opportunity for the Irishman to make it 2-0. And he is furious that he didn't because it was an inviting cross after a lax piece of defending by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Bertrand Robertson put it in. Long made a great run and just didn't really make any contact before Van Dijk scooped it over for a corner.
Shane Long's gone with it first time, completely missed his kick. Should have been 2-0.
Keita sets up Robertson. Salah is there. Goes for the diving header, makes no connection. Ball still in play though. Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. It's in. Naby Keita has squeezed the ball over the line, or has he? Yes, he has. The referee had a look, and Naby Keita has managed to get the ball via his head between the post and the despairing dive of Angus Gunn, and Liverpool are ahead. It's the Guineans' first goal for the club, and they've never lost a Premier League game that he's played in. So Long for Southampton, Keita for Liverpool. When you look at back at that half, really, you'd have to say maybe that Liverpool will be delighted to be still in the game, because Shane Long could so easily have made it 2-0, and then without creating very much, Liverpool got themselves level.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, he should have made it 2-0. I mean, it was a very slow, sloppy, subdued start from Liverpool, you have to say. I mean, Southampton came out flying out the traps, high press, high energy, full of enthusiasm, got about Liverpool. They knew that Liverpool would try to play out because they didn't have the height in terms of going long, so they pressed high, they won it back. They looked a bit nervous at the back at times. Liverpool didn't quite have the same composure and quality we have seen in other games, and Southampton capitalised. Look, they crafted a really, really well taken goal, you'd have to say. Great ball in from Bertrand. Højbjerg ran off, I think it was Fabinho in midfield, got in front of Van Dijk, a little flicked header, and there's Shane Long completely unmarked. The good thing for a Southampton perspective is they've got so many bodies in the box. There was about 4 players trying to get on the end of that, so really adventurous from them, and I guess fortune favours the brave.
Was the equaliser deserved or justified? I mean, Southampton had as much of the game as Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was deserved. I thought they were really poor, but however, they did slowly build into the game, and you've got to say it was slowly. Would they have scored if it wasn't for the execution from Alexander-Arnold, which was absolutely exquisite? I mean, you're not going to find a better cross all season. We had pace and power and precision right on the head of Keita. Terrific downward header. And look, it was a good goal, but do they deserve it? Probably not.
Well, they probably don't deserve it by virtue of the fact that Ralph Hasenhüttl will maybe slightly disappointed, or more than that, when he sees the replay, because Salah was offside in the build-up.
Yes, that's right. I mean, they kept a good defensive line, Southampton. They've caught Liverpool offside a couple of times, but that time Mo Salah was definitely about, it wasn't a lot, about half a yard, just offside, and if VAR was in play, then it would have been ruled out.
What's been missing from Liverpool today? I mean, obviously Salah has laboured again, hasn't he, really? Yeah. Firmino hasn't been in the game a huge amount either. Sadio Mane has had one header which was well saved, but that front three haven't really clicked so far, have they?
No, they've been anonymous. I mean, look, they're all sat in Southampton. There's a back 5 in there when they don't have the ball, all 11 inside their own half, saying, come on in, break us down. Now, there's not that much space in behind, and when they do make those runs, they've kept the line well and caught them offside. The ball's into feet, that little intricate play round the box hasn't worked. Firmino, his layoffs have been a bit lacking in quality and direction. Salah, his first touch at times has let him down. He hasn't quite put the ball where he wants it. I mean, Mane's probably been their brightest spark, but I mean, you're kind of clutching at straws for them, really.
You are a little bit. I mean, Klopp will want an improvement, but as we said in the first half, that I suppose Shaqiri is a player who can turn a game from the bench. The rest, with the greatest respect to Milner, Henderson, Moreno, and even Divock Origi are perhaps not quite in that bracket. I mean, they're all excellent players, but they need a bit of inspiration. Liverpool, they've been flat.
Yes, I mean, Origi is arguably come to the fore in terms of the next one in line to come on, and I thought it might be set up for someone like Shaqiri. Look, it might still be that way. However, it seems like the goals are going to come from those players on the pitch, and this is a huge, I can't tell you what an important half-time team talk this is from Jurgen Klopp. I mean, what he says, the way he says it, how much emphasis he puts on how they've got to come out and play. There's only 45 minutes left here, and look, if they don't get this right, this could be their title aspirations over.
Even if they draw 1-1, I mean, they have 80 points level with Manchester City, but of course Manchester City have a better goal difference at the moment by 9.
and of course would have a game in hand. So, you know, we said it at the start. I mean, Liverpool drop 3 points or drop 2 points. Either way, it's going to hand City a big incentive, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is massive. I mean, can they respond here? I think they can count themselves fortunate that they're actually back in the game. As it stands, they're 1 point behind City and they play the same amount of games. Obviously, the City will be looking at us thinking, happy days. You know, come on, Southampton. Now, Southampton can rally themselves as well, get that high energy back, start in the same manner. Again in the second half, like they did in the first, for the first 15-20 minutes maybe, you know, just try and force Liverpool back. We'll have to wait and see, because I tell you what, in spells the Saints have been superb. They really have.
Yeah, we said it. We thought this might be a potential tricky game for Liverpool, and it's certainly turned out that way. Shane Long with the goal for Southampton early on. Naby Keita has equalised for Liverpool, who've been below par. Klopp will expect more in the second half. Can they go on and get the 3 points they need to overhaul Manchester City at the top of the Premier League? We will find that out very shortly, because we've got the second half coming right up. You're listening to Premier League Live.
More to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
Here's Maddison for Leicester.
Vardy chance! Vardy goal! Leicester City, out of nowhere, have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Iwelumo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Southampton against Liverpool from St Mary's Stadium. I'm your host, John Anderson. Alongside me is the former Saints, Watford and Leicester striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live as Liverpool emerge from the tunnel in their, I don't know what you call it, violet, mauve, magenta. Anyway, it's a sort of light purple. They're level at one apiece, having gone behind early. Jurgen Klopp still doesn't look terribly comfortable or happy. He's
I don't know what he's saying there to the stewards on the fans. There's a lot of kids there, maybe, I don't know if he's...
I don't know if they're down there barracking him for any particular reason, but anyway...
Maybe they want his autograph and he's like, look, I'm at work. Well, I don't know, but he looks stressed tonight,
yeah,
I've got to say.
He does, you're right. Well, we haven't seen his pearly white teeth, have we? Normally you can't miss them. There's all sorts of flashing lights going on at St Mary's. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. I mean,
it's like disco.
Well, yeah, either that or you're expecting two heavyweights to walk down into the ring. Anyway, Southampton are emerging from the tunnel as the referee Paul Tierney brings the match ball back out for the second half. It's going to be an absolutely crucial 45 minutes for both Liverpool and Manchester City, really, because City will be hoping Southampton can do them a favour, at least keep it at 1-1 to deny Liverpool a victory. Liverpool have the best away record in the Premier League, 10 wins, 5 draws and just the one defeat, obviously, at the Etihad, their only defeat of the season. They've won their last 2 away games at Fulham and at Bayern Munich, of course, in the Champions League when they were magnificent. Magnificent is probably not the word you'd use to describe them tonight. No changes to either side at half-time. So Southampton have Angus Gunn in goal. Back 3 of Maya Yoshida, Roman Bednarek and Yannick Vestergaard. Across midfield, Jan Valeri, Oriol Romeo, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Ryan Bertrand up front, Shane Long the goal scorer and Nathan Redmond. I'll take you through the Liverpool team in a minute, but they're on the attack here with Robertson, header away by the tall Dane Vestergaard. Back it comes to Robertson, who cleverly finds Mane just outside the box. He finds Salah and Keita the goal scorer can't get a telling touch and it's hoofed away by Southampton up towards Shane Long. He's not going to get there. Liverpool have Alisson in goal. Back 4 is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip and Andy Robertson. Midfield 3 is Gino Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Naby Keita. Up front, Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino, none of whom have really looked like scoring. Mane had a header save. Other than that, they've been fairly muted. Salah is still looking for his 50th Liverpool Premier League goal. Shane Long has got his 50th Premier League goal tonight, a goal that put Southampton ahead after they made such a good start to the first half. Liverpool have started the second half better. Here's Mane trying to get round the outside of his man. He does that, but then scuffs the cross rather wastefully behind. But at least Liverpool have come out looking as if they mean business.
Yeah, they look like Liverpool. That's a much better start. Straight away they've got to the byline twice. Robertson, that time Mane. The cross wasn't the best, but still much improved performance. But there's Jurgen Klopp. He's prowling that technical area. He sat down to begin, but he's up now. He knows the importance of this.
Clearance by Angus Gunn, who couldn't keep out the Naby Keita header. He got quite a hand on it. It then hit the post. He then flipped up his other arm to pat it away, but by that time it had crossed the line. Clearly a goal. Didn't need goal line technology really, although with the naked eye it was hard to see. Here's Valeri for Southampton. Useful cross, and Redmond was arriving, and that was a little bit hesitant from Alisson, who didn't really get a proper glove on it. Redmond made no contact with his attempted header, but it was another scare for Liverpool.
What a ball in from Mallory. I mean, Redmond's gone for it. Alisson has actually ducked out and left it. I mean, he got away with that. That could have gone horribly wrong. I think he was right. I don't know whether he thought maybe did Redmond run across him and he knew that maybe there was no one else behind him, but still it was risky.
Well, no one's kept more clean sheets in the Premier League this season than the Brazilian for Liverpool. Not tonight, of course, but a yellow card has been shown there to Roman Bednarek, the Southampton defender.
Just pulled back. Mane there, just got away from him.
First of the night for a referee. Paul Tierney hasn't had an awful lot of worrying moments yet. Let's hope that continues. Here's Matip driving forward for Liverpool. Firmino to Fabinho, and now Robertson, left-footed ball down the line towards Naby Keita, who finds Robertson again, and that's a poor cross by him, and that's 2 poor crosses we've seen from Liverpool in the opening 4 minutes of the second half.
Very unlike him. You'd actually say that's rubbish from Robertson. He should be doing better. He knows. Look, it's important. You might not get too many of them. Come on. You need real quality now. This is a pivotal moment in their season.
Well, nobody has drawn more games in the Premier League this season than Southampton, with 9, 6 of them at St Mary's. This could be a 7th. They would see that, I think, as an excellent result. Liverpool less so. But if they can get a point off Liverpool, Southampton, I think they'll feel, with the run-in they've got, that they've got every opportunity. They don't meet any of the big 6 clubs after tonight. Wolves at home, Newcastle away, Watford away, Bournemouth at home, West Ham away, Huddersfield home. They're all games where they feel they can pick up points.
Yeah, eminently winnable. And look, if they keep playing as they are, even the loss against United, they were excellent in.
Liverpool's run-in is slightly more fraught with danger, and it also, of course, includes the Champions League, although I think when the draw was made, with the greatest respect to Porto, Liverpool got the kindest draw of all the English clubs. Manchester United have got, obviously, Barcelona and Spurs and Manchester City face each other, which is always difficult in a European context. The first leg of that Liverpool-Porto game is in midweek. Here's Valeri, who's already put in one useful cross. There's another, but a follow-up volley by Redmond hits a Liverpool defender and goes behind. So with 6 minutes of the second half gone, Saints have the first corner of the second period. James Ward-Prowse is jogging across no more to take it. You were pointing out that Southampton weren't in any great hurry to take throw-ins and free kicks and whatnot, and nothing's changed. Taking a while here.
Well, he's given the signal. He's bounced the ball down, so normally that means there's something off the training ground coming.
Here comes the cross. It's nodded away by Roberto Firmino. Back in by Nathan Redmond, and then headed away, but inaccurately by Southampton, but Liverpool can't make anything of it either, and Southampton back in possession with Ward-Prowse finding Redmond. Redmond's done brilliantly well. This is Nathan Redmond for Southampton. Great step over, chance for a shot, and it's blocked by Matic. Wonderful skill by Nathan Redmond on the run. A nutmeg to start it all off, then a few step overs. He was a little bit wide in the end, but it needed the presence of Matic just to make sure that his shot didn't get towards the goal.
Well, not for the first time though. A player just skipped past Fabinho. He's been really disappointing tonight. I mean, they shouldn't even be getting onto their back four. That's what he's there for, Fabinho, to stop players attacking their defence. In the end, it took good defending, but maybe if he got his eyes up, would have spotted Ward-Prowse, who's in a better position.
Another Saints corner. Ward-Prowse to take it. There's Vestergaard, who's very tall, but didn't actually leave the ground. It was a stooping header, which went quite a long way off target in the end from the giant Danish international, who hasn't scored yet in 25 games for Southampton. His last goal was in the Bundesliga for his previous club, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Here's Salah, who's been brought down inside his own half. It's going to be a free kick to Liverpool. Shane Long hits a very speculative long-range effort, which doesn't have any kind of accuracy off his right foot. He was a long way out. He's not renowned for spectacular strikes, really. Long, he's more of a poacher.
Well, he shot from a long way out.
It was given away cheaply, though, by Liverpool, wasn't it? From a free kick.
Fabinho again, I mean, just gifting the ball straight back to Southampton. I can't tell you how disappointing he's been.
No, he has, I agree. Not been anywhere near his best. He is an excellent player. Here's Firmino for Liverpool, and he's given it away, but it was being fouled in the act of doing so by Romeu. So that's going to be a free kick to Liverpool.
Very generous there from the referee, Tierney. Didn't see too much in that. Firmino just with a poor touch, took his first touch the wrong way, then played the ball backwards, lost possession.
Here's Firmino again, finding Wijnaldum. Well tackled though by Vestergaard. Southampton have it again. Romeo driving forward and finding Long. Back to Romeo. That's good play by Southampton. The ball is with Nathan Redmond, who almost forgot to bring it with him, but he has it under control. Now Bertrand just by him further down the left-hand side. This is Ryan Bertrand now, Champions League winner early in his career with Chelsea. Ryan Bertrand. Here's Bednarek. Useful ball. Valeri likes to get forward. Crosses headed away by Van Dijk and then drops for Romeo, who does well to find Højbjerg. Højbjerg thinks about a ball out left. Instead it goes out to the right. Valeri in space here with time to measure the cross. And it's a really poor cross given the time and space that he had. He's just dribbled it straight into Alisson's arms.
Well, the first cross actually was just as bad. I mean, he had all the time in the world, but he didn't get his head up and there was no one in the box. That time he had plenty of time. He couldn't pick anyone out. I mean, if you contrast him with, say, Alexander-Arnold, I mean, he's still got plenty to do. Alexander-Arnold in that position is just outstanding.
Here's Bertrand. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Saints on the front foot. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, their match winner against Brighton last time out, on the back of that wonderful victory against Tottenham Hotspur. There haven't been too many points taken by the bottom six against the top six, but Saints managed to defeat Spurs here a few weeks ago. Here's Keita, who's got the goal that's levelled against them for Liverpool tonight. Liverpool, they don't need reminding, are chasing their first title in 29 years, since the days of Kenny Dalglish and Alan Hansen and Peter Beardsley and John Barnes. James Milner and Jordan Henderson are both receiving instructions on the bench, and it looks as if Liverpool might be ready to make a double substitution here. Both of them rested to the bench tonight. Well, whether that was with the Porto Champions League game in mind or not.
Well, to me, if I don't see Fabinho's number come up here, I'll be absolutely amazed. Wijnaldum as well has been a little bit quiet.
Here's Matip. Ball is flicked in field and forward by Wijnaldum, but given away. Højbjerg keeps it in far side. Firmino pinches it off in. It's all scruffy at the moment down that right hand side, but Mo Salah has it now and finds Wijnaldum. Great tackle by Vestergaard. He's had a good game. Well, he's reverted to a 3, having played with a back 4 against Brighton. Southampton, so far they've done pretty well. Here's Salah, though, trying to find Firmino. Poor ball.
Again, that link-up just isn't there. In and around the box. I mean, a Man City or Barcelona or someone like that, their link-up around the box is just exquisite in tight areas, but it's just been sadly lacking tonight for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree. Here's Alexander-Arnold, who's cross-set up the goal. Now Naby Keita, who scored it. Centre midfield, just probing forward, finds Mane. Here's Keita again. He's gone down now. They want a penalty, Liverpool. They're not getting one. Paul Tierney says no. Keita went darting through. He was caught, it seemed, by Yoshida. We're going to get a closer look at it now. Well,
no, he pulled out.
He toe-poked it away. Yoshida, as you say, pulled out of the challenge. Don't know how much contact there is there. Very little, if any. And Paul Tierney, to the dismay of the Liverpool supporter, I think has got a marginal decision just about right.
I think so. I mean, he did go to ground Yoshida. I don't think he needed to be honest. But he did pull his leg back, and I think it's the right call.
Here's Mane trying to get forward. Good challenge by Romeo. He and Højbjerg have worked really hard in that Southampton boiler room in midfield. That's a poor header by Matip. And he's got away with it because Redmond couldn't get on the end of it. He was trying to head it back to Alisson, and it was a long way short, which Redmond sensed. Here's Salah, looking to avoid going 9 games without a goal, something he hasn't done since he was at Roma in the 2015-16 season. We are going to see this double substitution now. Wijnaldum's number is the first to go up. He walks to the side of the field and is replaced by James Milner. And now what's happening? Is it Alexander-Arnold has gone off? That's an interesting one, to be replaced by Jordan Henderson. What do you make of that?
Well, Milner will slot into right back, I imagine. I don't know whether Alexander-Arnold is struggling with something. I don't know.
Didn't seem a logical reason to take him off, did there?
No. Not a change that he would want to make, certainly.
He did miss the recent England games, didn't he?
Yeah.
With an injury. Here's Robertson, the other fullback. Now it's Mane, who's been driven a little bit wide, but he'll still get his cross in, hangs it up. Vestergaard, who's got the height. Fabinho drives it in, took a deflection on the way through. The Brazilian is screaming the word ref as if to suggest that he should have a corner, and I think he's got one.
Yeah, he's changed his mind there. I mean, Fabinho is adamant that took a deflection. He was going horribly wide. The ball worked out to the left. Mane's cross is too high. I mean, that's food and drink, I think, for Southampton centre-half, but it's a poor header from Vestergaard to the edge of the box. He scuffs his shot. Just seemed to pop off maybe Ward-Prowse or Romeo. It's gone out for a corner.
Yeah, it's been quickly taken. Here's Robertson into the box for Liverpool. Good header away by Yoshida. Firmino will pick up the pieces wide on the right-hand side as Liverpool attack. Here's Milner, first touch since coming on as a sub, shoots with that first touch, but his effort is blocked. It comes out to Firmino. He fires straight at Angus Gunn, who makes a very, very straightforward save.
Well, not for the first time in this game. Firmino, to me, makes the wrong decision. Shooting from too far out here, maybe a sign of desperation. It's got to be something spectacular to go in the top corner from there. Comfortable save. He had a snapshot earlier in the first half as well, but he's been on the periphery as well.
Southampton are also about to make a change. Now, Hasenhüttl, I think that's Josh Sims that he's having a discussion with. We'll find out in a minute. Henderson takes the throw for Liverpool and gets it back from Firmino. Henderson into the box, it hits Vestergaard and is pushed away by Yoshida to Romeo, who does well to sort his feet out and was then fouled by Jordan Henderson, who recently won his 50th cap for England. 50 caps, no goals for England. Jordan Henderson, it is now an astonishing 71 games since he last scored for Liverpool. We're going to get a sub now, and it is young Josh Sims who's going to come on, and he's replacing the goal scorer Shane Long. He's had a pretty good game, hasn't he? Long, he's took his goal well and he's worked hard up front.
Absolutely, and to me though, this might be a signal that I just wonder whether Redmond will be that lone one up front with a bit of energy to run around. It might be Sims, but took his goal really well there, Shane Long. First touch to kill it, second one in the bottom of the net. Look, it's not the hardest of chances, is it? 7 yards out, unmarked in the box, but still had to put it away, and he did. I mean, Henderson though, what is he doing? Chasing around, fouling people. I mean, come on, you don't need to run around like an idiot. Just stop giving fouls away. Just waste time.
Josh Sims has come on, a 22-year-old who's had a loan spell this season at Reading in the Championship. He was recalled in January.
Well, he wasn't recalled because he did well, because I saw him there. He was actually a little bit... I think Reading were happy that he went back. To be honest,
he's done all right since
he's done okay.
Coming on for Southampton, hasn't he? I've seen him a couple of times. He looked quite good. Yeah. Here's Mane trying to take on the Southampton defence, cutting it back for Firmino, who didn't get a real challenge on it, and somehow the ball squirted wide after promising approach work by Sadio Mane.
Again though, Mane's been brilliant, gets to the ball and cuts the ball back brilliantly to Firmino, then just scuffs his shot. He's on his left foot, he misses it with his leading leg, his left foot, bounces off his right leg, goes out for a goal kick. I mean, it's a real waste because Mane's put in some really good work down this left hand side, got to the bar line twice, but they've lacked quality in the box tonight, Liverpool. They really have.
The fabled front three have been misfiring tonight, haven't they?
Yeah.
Mane's probably been the best of them.
Yeah, he has.
Firmino's been lacklustre, and so too Salah so far. But there is still time. We're in the 63rd minute at St Mary's.
They are moving the ball a little bit quicker. You can see the urgency now from Liverpool. I think they realise that this is a huge 30 minutes coming up.
There's Robertson on the left-hand side, just darting infield. Back it goes to Van Dijk, who's still being booed by the Southampton fans. They got 89 million. No, how much was it?
75 around, isn't it?
Yeah, they got a lot of money for him. That way. Yeah, 75 it was. I was thinking of Pogba as 89, isn't it?
Again, though, the move breaks down. It goes into Salah in the box. His first touch just takes him into the defender. He loses position. He's been, I did question at the start of the game, should he be starting? Would it be better coming off the bench now? Being fresh now. His hold-up play and his link around the box has been so poor. I mean, look, I really hope it comes good for him, I do. But I just wonder whether it would be better, maybe it being dipped out.
Well, they only have one substitution remaining, Liverpool.
And I think, because they don't really have the depth, Klopp probably thinks he can't afford to leave him out, but you keep playing him and sort of make a run for your own back.
All scooped over the top, away by Yoshida, only as far as Mane. Here's Salah, nice ball over the top, Mane is there, and a very good rescuing header by Jan Bednarek, a tall Polish defender, to make sure that Liverpool couldn't make any more of that promising situation than they did. He was just behind Mane, but he got to the ball first.
That's much better though. Again, Mane, the architect of all the good things that are coming from Liverpool, just needs a few others to sing off the same song sheet.
Bednarek will celebrate his 23rd birthday next week. It was a useful intervention. Jurgen Klopp has got hold of the match ball, which rolled into the technical area, and he's just giving it back to Southampton, who take the throw-in quickly. It's Bertrand trying to find Redmond, but Redmond can't make anything of it. Redmond scored in the other leg of that League Cup semi-final I was talking about in 2017. Shane Long got the killer goal at Anfield, but it was Redmond who scored here to set up that victory. Here's Mane for Liverpool, looking to try and set up a victory for his team, but again Vestergaard is there. Milner tries to thread it through. It's intercepted by Højbjerg, who then slices his clearance. It's gone up in the air. Henderson is pulled down, surely. No, nothing given. Southampton clear. It's got a bit ragged, the game now. Here's Henderson again, finding Milner, the two substitutes combining, and Naby Keita to a roar from the visiting Merseysiders, finds Robertson. Here's Mane, just outside the penalty area, looks to clip it in, still has it. Mane goes round the outside, can't find room for the cross yet, instead finds Keita in towards Firmino, chance! Brilliant block. Yoshida was in the way, not clear completely yet. Milner hits it, and it's blocked again, but that block by Yoshida from Firmino was crucial.
I thought it was going to fall for him there, Firmino, but what a block, as you say, from Yoshida. Maybe could have got a shot off earlier, I don't know, just dallied slightly.
Here's Robertson. Mane. The visiting fans are roaring at the moment. It's a block this time by Valeri that sends the intended cross by Mane behind for a Liverpool corner. But you just sense that Liverpool are turning the screws. We look at that block again, brilliant defending.
Yeah, he got round covered on the inside really well here. First touch just popped up off Firmino over Vestergaard. Got across really well, but Mane's been magnificent, I've got to say. Can he create something here?
Corner will be taken by Milner. It's an in-swinger. Header is by Bednarek again. And it's another corner on the opposite side. And Liverpool are beginning to look more and more menacing with each passing minute. Let us know what you think on Twitter at TalkSport Live. We're almost at the three-quarter mark in this Friday night game. Start of the Premier League weekend. Milner with an outswinger this time. Cleared only as far as Henderson, who shoots. Again, it's blocked. Fabinho tries to make something of it. Bednarek's in the way again. He's been pretty busy, Bednarek, hasn't he, in the last 3 minutes or so. Liverpool come again. Milner to Fabinho. Milner's peeled away down the right-hand side and wants the ball played to him. Instead, it's come infield to Salah, whose cross is half blocked, and Southampton may finally get a bit of respite, and they've played the ball calmly out of defence, and Josh Sims, the substitute who's come on, is trying to get forward at pace. He's tackled by Milner. No foul, says Paul Tierney. You can hear the Southampton fans booing because they wanted a free kick. They're not going to get one. Here's Jordan Henderson for Liverpool, who beginning to show a little bit of urgency now. Mane lets the ball run across him. I think that's gone out of play, and uncharacteristically for him, it was an error in judgment. But Southampton will want a period in the opposition half, because they haven't had one for quite a while now.
What a recovery tackle though from James Milner. I mean, Josh Sims is a quick boy, but he caught up with him, went to ground, super sliding challenge.
just looking at that penalty claim against Yoshida. Well, he takes his foot. There's definitely contact.
There is.
It's a really difficult one because he's trying to get his leg out of the way, and his momentum has seen his sort of shin rub against Keita's foot, and over he went. But again, it's another one where I'm not even entirely sure that VAR would have sorted that out. Certainly not quickly.
Well, from this
is the problem.
From one angle, it looks innocuous. From another, it looks like there's definite contact.
It does. But, you know, they'd have to look at it a lot of times. It's going to hold up play by 3 or 4 minutes, which I think is unacceptable. I don't think fans want games held up for that length of time.
I agree, I don't like it. But I'm sure Jurgen Klopp would rather
he would. Yeah. Here's Matip. Now Firmino, he's on. No, he's not. I thought he was, and he's not. The flag's gone up. I'm just going to say he's onside. But he's been flagged.
How many times is that now? I mean, Firmino, come on, you know, look across the line. It was tight. Got to say, it might be Mane.
I think Yoshida's playing him on there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a Liverpool player, I think Salah, in a more forward position. He wasn't interfering. I think Firmino was onside, which is why I got as far as saying he's on, and then had to backtrack. But 20 minutes left at St Mary's. Can Liverpool turn a solitary point into all three? Certainly they look the more likely scorers in this second half. The Saints have the ball at the moment in the Liverpool half, and that's been a rarity in the second period. Here's Jan Valeri controlling a high ball neatly and looking to take on Keita. Keita does well to get a foot in, and the ball goes out of play, and it's a throw in to Southampton midway inside the Liverpool half on the near side. Here's Redmond, it's gone out of play. Dimanche says, I sense a winning goal for the Reds. Virgil van Dijk to score the winner in injury time to silence the boo boys. Well, there's nothing Liverpool would want more than that.
No, absolutely. It'd have to come from a set piece though, and they've defended them really well so far, Southampton.
He has been amongst the goals lately. Van Dijk, he got a couple in a big win against Watford quite recently. Both of them late as well, those goals. Here's Henderson finding Salah. Salah trying to get beyond Vestergaard. Manages to keep possession well, the Egyptian. And here's Fabinho, and Fabinho's clever ball finds Milner. Milner lofts it in. Mane's there. His header is back towards Milner. It won't reach him because Vestergaard is able to hook it away. Fabinho back into the Liverpool box. Once again, it's Vestergaard clearing. Henderson picks it up for Liverpool and finds Naby Keita. The noise levels inside St Mary's and out at an all-time high. Here's James Milner for Liverpool. Header away for Bednarek. Here's Matip. Good tackle by Højbjerg, who's been excellent to find Sims, the substitute. He's found Redmond, and a little bit of relief for Southampton. They're totally outnumbered going forward here, probably about 6-2. Here's Sims trying to get past Matip, back to Nathan Redmond. Redmond's got Højbjerg square, goes back to Ryan Bertrand. Looks to me as if Southampton, from the way they're playing, seem keen on hanging on for 1-1, but that's a dangerous tactic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously they're really isolated when the ball goes up top to Sims and Redmond, because they've got everyone in their own half trying to defend these balls in the box. They've been fairly comfortable. I mean, they have elected Liverpool to put a lot of crosses in, and against this back three of Southampton, you've got to say it hasn't really worked.
Well, Ryan Bertrand has the ball in his hands again. He's taking a long time to take the throw in, and I think the referee called it. He's going across and saying to him, look, if you do that again, I'm going to have to
yell at you.
And he's right.
He should have had a yellow card.
He's been doing it throughout the first half. Yeah. You're right. I think he deserves a yellow card because it's been quite deliberate, quite cynical. And finally, the ball is back in play with Nathan Redmond. And that's gone out of play again. And I think Liverpool will probably take this throw in rather more quickly than Ryan Bertrand did a minute ago for Saints. Liverpool looking for a third successive away win in all competitions. They're unbeaten in 6th away from Anfield. And they do have a terrific record on the road. Here's Henderson's header, looking for Salah. Vestergaard, he's played really well tonight. There are several Southampton players you'd say have put in a really good shift so far. Vestergaard, Romeu, Højbjerg, long before he came off.
No nonsense, isn't he, Vestergaard?
Bednarek, absolutely. Here's Mane, though, for Liverpool. He slipped in Robertson. This is a chance. Oh, and for once, Robertson puts in a woeful cross. Oh, he looks to the skies in despair because it was a terrific opening. The approach play was excellent, but the cross wasn't.
Oh, it's absolutely what a missed opportunity because Robertson on the run. He's got Mo Salah completely unmarked in the 6-yard box, not for the first time. I've got to be honest, his deliveries have been so poor tonight, Robertson. That's not, what's that, about the third one he's over here, and he's got to do better. I mean, that's a goal-scoring opportunity. Mo Salah hangs his head and thinks, what chance have I got of breaking my duck?
Absolutely. He normally is so good. There's another yellow card being shown by referee Courtin, and it is Bertrand for time wasting, and rightly so.
He should have had that much earlier in the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wonder whether referees think they can't book anyone for time wasting in the first half, but as you said, time wasting is time wasting. It doesn't really matter when it is, does it? Here's Bednarek slicing the ball forward for Southampton. Ward-Prowse gives chase and gets there ahead of Van Dijk and finds Sims. It's Josh Sims for Southampton, but the whistle's blown. Oh, has it been pulled back for a foul, I wonder? I think it might have done.
Well,
he let play go a long time there, the referee, before he made the decision that Van Dijk had been fouled.
That was incredible because, I mean, Van Dijk, is he holding his face? And he's just jumped up now, so...
Well, he jumped up and Sims, who's much shorter, almost went underneath him. But
I think it was Ward-Prowse, but I just wonder whether the assistant referee has flagged for this, because Ward-Prowse goes up, he falls over him. Oh yeah, the assistant referee does flag, and then he puts it down.
Here's Milner finding Henderson. Henderson back to Milner again, right-hand side. Wants it on his right foot, gets the cross in towards Firmino, who throws himself at it, but doesn't make any great contact, and the ball goes behind, and another Liverpool chance ebbs away as we enter the last quarter of an hour.
Not really good. Bednarek just gets up here above Firmino, just knocks it out for a corner, done really well. Sorry, Jean Valery. I just wonder, would you put one of the centre-half, would you put Van Dijk up front for this last 14 minutes?
Yeah, it's almost become like a cup tie for Liverpool, hasn't it? Milner with the corner. Poor one, headed away at the near post by Valeri, back in by Robertson. That's awkward. Goalkeeper decides to come, punches not very far, but finally there is a foul in the box, and Ryan Bertrand goes down. I think it's Bertrand, and it's a free kick to Southampton.
Well, I just wonder,
still on top unless we get a Liverpool goal in the last 12 and a half minutes here. Talking about Virgil van Dijk, actually, I thought it was one of the best bits of defending I've seen against Tottenham when they broke, and Moussa Sissoko was carrying the ball forward. He had Son Heung-min screaming for it. Just got the impression that Van Dijk had decided, let's push it across slightly so that Sissoko shoots, because he's more likely to miss than Son, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, he turned a 2v1 into a 1v1, which is your first port of call when you're outnumbered, and then he forced him onto his weaker side.
Stuart Armstrong's about to come on for Saints, but the ball's still in play with Redmond, and it's gone behind off the toe of Joel Matip for a Southampton corner. They haven't shown very much in the second half, Southampton, but could they pay Manchester City an even bigger favour by getting a second? Well, never mind Manchester City, give themselves an extra couple of points in the battle to stay out of the Championship, where Fulham and Huddersfield have already been consigned this week. Here's Ward-Prowse with the corner. Up they go. It's Yoshida who gets his head on it. Has that taken a flick off the Liverpool player after he headed it. I think it might well have done. Yes, indeed. It's come off Firmino. It's another corner to Southampton. So Vestergaard and that tall triumvirate of central defenders, Yoshida and Bednarek alongside him, are all still in the area.
Well, they defend in a zone here, Liverpool, so basically they're all along the 6-yard line. This is an out-swinger, so they can be a little bit higher. They got one on the near post space, but if you're a Southampton player, you get a run on someone, you can out-jump them.
11 minutes left. James Ward-Prowse with a corner for Southampton. They've won their last 2 home games. Bednarek gets a flick on it. It comes out to Højbjerg. Højbjerg trying to find Sims. Sims with quick feet, but the ball is cleared by Liverpool. Only as far as Ward-Prowse's shot is blocked, but suddenly Liverpool are coming forward now. It's Mo Salah. He's got Firmino for company. Salah! He's got the goal that he and Liverpool so desperately wanted. It's his 50th Premier League goal for Liverpool, and it could be an absolutely crucial one for his club. 8 without a goal prior to tonight, but with 10 minutes left, Mo Salah has made it Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. How big will that goal prove to be?
Mo, the main man, Salah, finally, he gets the ball. He's been starved of it all game, comes from the corner again. They break really, really quickly, Liverpool. It's just a hopeful ball cleared. It actually pops out on the edge of the box. Terrific interception here. Then they build play right. Can they get it to Mo? He's 1v1. I mean, he's left completely isolated. Firmino then joins in. He's up against, I think it's Redmond. Can he get at him? He forces him back. He backs off, gets to the edge of the area. And what a left foot strike that is. A cross goal in off the post. Just kisses it on the inside. Absolutely tremendous. Bertrand, I think, backs off a little bit too much. He gets to the edge. It's a perfectly placed finish. Oh, what an end to the game this is.
Well, he might not have scored against too many clubs in the recent weeks, but he certainly loved scoring against Southampton. He's now scored in all 4 of his Premier League games against the Saints. That goal, well, it's huge in many ways, isn't it? It just lifts a burden off Salah's shoulders. Klopp is no longer going to be asked questions about him. Salah himself has, fended off a lot of questions about whether he's lost his magic touch and said, well, I've got 20 goals in the season. Normally you'd think that was good. Well, now he's got 21, and it came in the 80th minute, and Liverpool are celebrating wildly, those who are lucky enough to be at St Mary's tonight, because they, if it stays like this, will end the night 2 points clear of Manchester City at the top of the Premier League, but of course having played a game more, perhaps crucially, but Liverpool have to keep winning and hope that Manchester City somehow stumble, and if they do win tonight it'll be 5 wins in a row. So as it stands, they are keeping their part of the bargain, aren't they?
They are, and actually Mo Salah had no real space, but when did I say this game might open? The last 10-15 minutes, and around the edge of the box he's been really poor, but on that counter he had plenty of space, and that's when he's at his best.
Milner down the line. Well, Southampton, who were hoping for a victory when Shane Long got his early goal, are now hoping for a point, having seen 2 go in the other way, and the reaction from Ralph Hasenhüttl is to bring on 2 substitutes, both of them offensive players, Stuart Armstrong and Charlie Austin are about to be introduced. Austin's got 3 goals this season, Armstrong 4. But the Liverpool fans are screaming the name of their team into the Solent night sky on the south coast. Southampton will feel aggrieved, won't they, if they don't get anything out of this. It will keep them in and around the relegation zone. That goal by Salah will be loved by Liverpool. Well, this means not loved by City, and very much loved by Cardiff, who could be in a battle with Saints to stay up.
Yeah, just looking at what he's done there in terms of trying to go for this, Hasenhüttl at least get back in the game. He's changed to a back 4. He's taken off, obviously, Vestergaard. Now they're down. They need to change it. He's gone to the formation they played against Brighton, a 4-2-2-2. So he's got Højbjerg and Ward-Prowse, and then he's got Sims and Armstrong, and then Redmond and Austin, I think, which will be the front 2. So it's that 4-2-2-2 that they played against Brighton. Well, fair play to him. I mean, he's trying to put, obviously, the onus back onto Liverpool here. See if he can get another goal.
Well, Mo Salah has proved the old adage, hasn't he, that form is temporary and class is permanent. It was a really good finish. I mean, it was a confident, it didn't look like the finish of a player who was, racked with nerves about this.
No, I mean, look, if he was
scoring run.
Let's be frank, if he was, he would have released the ball to Firmino.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, because he didn't really have that many chances, I think he thought, you know what, I'm going to take this on myself.
Here's Keita trying to make it third, which would wrap it up surely. His cross is repelled by Maya Yoshida. Here's Robertson. There's a foul by Fabinho on Josh Sims, which will necessitate a Southampton free kick. We've got 5.5 minutes left at St Mary's, where Scouse voices can be heard. Liverpool haven't played well tonight, but how many times have we said it? When you're chasing a title, if you can win awkward away games without necessarily sparkling, then you are the kind of team that can pick up a title.
Absolutely. Well, again, they're not vintage Liverpool, and they do always give you a chance, don't they? They do concede at the minute. You do know that they might concede the odd one. Oh, they've done that in every game against Spurs, Fulham, Bayern Munich, Burnley. They conceded 2, so you kind of got to score at least 2 goals to win a game at the minute if you're a Liverpool fan or a player.
Well, it's 5 in a row without a clean sheet in the Premier League. We're looking at Salah's goal again. Poor old Ryan Bertrand is in 2 minds because he knows that Salah might shoot. He also knows that Firmino is across, but it was a really good finish. Beautifully stroked, wasn't it, into the corner by the left foot of Mo Salah.
Now, we spoke earlier about Van Dijk's defending, and Van Dijk there basically would have made that into a 1v1.
Here's Firmino! Here's Henderson! Liverpool have wrapped it up! Jordan Henderson hasn't scored for 71 games prior to tonight, but that goal side-footed home from the low cross will surely wrap it up. Southampton have conceded 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and Liverpool are heading back to the top of the table. Another lightning counter-attack. It's Southampton 1, Liverpool 3, and that is game over.
Well, he's had a really good impact here, Jordan Henderson, since he's come on, giving them that energy that the manager wanted, that leader on the pitch. Terrific little break. Firmino at the heart of everything, getting his eyes up, spotted the run. It started playing out from the back, actually. Really calm, measured play. Out to Matip. Terrific ball over the top into Firmino. He just keeps it alive. Out wide on the box, and then Henderson just breaks his balls. Can he get in the box? You bet he can. Just runs off Ward-Prowse. Lovely little left foot side finish into the bottom corner.
The last time Jordan Henderson scored for Liverpool was in a away win against Leicester in September of the season before last, and he's tucked that away beautifully. It was a lung-busting run, wasn't it, by Henderson, who really busted gut to make the run and get in there. It's a long, long time since he last scored, but he's so delighted with that goal. As the rain starts to tumble down at St Mary's, it's raining on Southampton's parade. Liverpool, from a team who walked off at half-time looking not exactly cock-a-hoop, and now celebrating wildly. And another former Saint is going to come on in a moment, Dejan Lovren, just to see out the last few minutes or so. Both goals came in the last 10 minutes of the game. Naby Keita, who got the first half goal to set them on their way, or perhaps more prosaically to scramble an equaliser, but second half Liverpool have been the better team, haven't they?
They have. It looks like they've now gone to a back 3 with Lovren just slotting in between Matip and Van Dijk, just trying to shore things up these last few minutes.
Well, the Liverpool fans are in great voice now. We shall not be moved. Just like the team that's going to win the Football League, they're singing. It's been a long, long, long way. That is by no means certain, because Manchester City still look in imperious form, and you'd have to say they've got a much better squad than Liverpool. But Liverpool's 5th successive win, which we can now call it, I think, with 88 minutes on the clock and the score 3-1. Unless Southampton can do something extraordinary here, and Andrew Robertson has brought down Josh Simpson, will be booked. The offence took place a fraction outside the 18-yard box, wide on the right-hand side. Sims lively, and He's a bit unlucky, Robertson, isn't he? He's fallen to ground and he's sort of nudged him over.
He was away, wasn't he?
Sure,
I think Robertson actually took him down because I think he was concerned he was going to get away there, committed a foul right on the edge, actually went to ground, made sure he didn't get past him.
Well, Liverpool will go to 82 points with a victory here, although a goal for Southampton would set the cat amongst the pigeons. We're almost in the 89th minute, and James Ward-Prowse, who can deliver a free kick beautifully as we've seen this season, is standing over the ball. They won't want to concede here, Liverpool. It's Ward-Prowse, and it comes off Austin, and then is thumped a good distance over the crossbar by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And that will allay Liverpool's fears, I think, of a late Southampton rally. Well, it's going to be a happy journey back. It's an awkward time to be watching football when you're from the northwest and the game's on the south coast and it's Friday night. But my goodness me, their weekend has started in style.
Well, it'll be a nice journey home, won't it, for them, coming all this way on a Friday night. I mean, I don't know who scheduled it like this, but what a nightmare for a Liverpool fan, but it's certainly not if they got the victory.
They won't mind. They've got a weekend to recover. Ball has gone out of play as we tick into 90 minutes, just waiting to see how much time the fourth official will add on. 4 minutes is the answer. Here's Salah, having got one, looking for another perhaps, but Bednarek is able to hook it away from him. I mean, you're a striker, David. 8 games without a goal. Does it feel special? Does it feel different when you score a goal that ends a drought rather than one goal in a sequence?
Well, yeah, certainly it is a weight off your shoulders, and he took it ever so well.
He did. Well, a lot was said about how much they needed him to get a goal. Incidentally, took him to 50 Premier League goals for Liverpool. No one has got there quicker in the club's recent history. Took him 69 games to get 50 goals. That's not bad going, is it? That's the third fastest, I think, in Premier League history since obviously 1992, when the Premier League took over from Division 1, if you like. Some of these statistics are a little bit spurious because other players before that time sometimes feel they're being a little bit forgotten by some of these Premier League statistics. Anyway, the ball is into the Liverpool penalty area, but not with any danger at all. Alisson just looks at the ball bounce twice and go behind. Jurgen Klopp's looking a little bit happier than he has done for much of the day. He's taking a sip from a bottle of water. I think there still will be a sense of relief really against Liverpool. He didn't play well first half.
Yeah, I think he'll want something stronger than a bottle of water after this, though, if he can't even, because he has been certainly on the edges here.
Yes.
It's been a nervous performance, and it looks like they've got over the line, but
I think Liverpool fans will certainly be enjoying something a little stronger than water on their way back. Pubs will be shut by the time we get home, mind you. Here's Alisson coming out to gather the ball. Robin from Brazil, we know he's a Liverpool fan. Now for a great weekend, off for an evening swim in the warm waters of Rio, Das Ostras, and a beer or 3. But where is Salah's second goal? David and I are not in the least bit jealous of you. Here's the ball forward. It's intercepted by Van Dijk, who's tasted victory on his return to the ground where he once played. Forward it goes towards Mane, for whom the same applies. Headed away by Southampton. Bednarek finds Valeri, but it's all over now for Saints. They are going to remain in a relegation battle. Cardiff will be delighted that they've lost tonight. They will stay on 33 points, and if Burnley get at least a draw from their next game, which is at Bournemouth tomorrow, then Southampton will drop into the bottom 4. They are still 5 points ahead of Cardiff, but they've played a game more, so they are very much still in the mire, aren't they?
I think they'll be fine. I mean, it's a lot of points to make up, isn't it?
But it will be a nervous finale. They do have the advantage of not facing any of the big six teams in their final 5 games. Just to remind you, they play Wolverhampton Wanderers, Newcastle, Watford, Bournemouth, West Ham and Huddersfield. So if they do win, do need to win on the last day, which I doubt. Huddersfield at home is probably the fixture you'd pick, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Or maybe Fulham at home, actually, even worse than Huddersfield away. Booking for Sadio Mane very late on for a foul. So you may be too worried about that. It's the first Liverpool booking of the game. Southampton have a free kick. We already bypassed 94 minutes. So whatever happens from this, it won't make any difference. Ward-Prowse may feel that he might as well go for goal, but it's a very, very long way out. Some 40 yards. He's played it harmlessly into Alisson's gloves. Alisson drops to the ground very theatrically. Yeah, well, he can't complain. Southampton have wasted a lot of time themselves, but the whistle is blown and Jurgen Klopp sees his team climb to the back, or climb back to the summit of the Premier League. It's now back over to you, Manchester City. Liverpool have 82 points to Pep Guardiola's team's 80. But of course City have a game in hand. Southampton stay in trouble. They took the lead through Shane Long. Naby Keita equalised with his first Liverpool goal on 36. Then Mo Salah, with 10 minutes to go, broke his goal scoring drought of 8 games to make it 2-1. And Jordan Henderson broke an even longer spell without a goal to make it 3-1. And Liverpool are back on top. Here's Ryan Bertrand for Southampton, clips it into the box, useful ball, flick off, chance, Long scores. Shane Long after 8 minutes has put Southampton in front. A goal which will be celebrated as loudly at Manchester City as it will be on the south coast here. Southampton 1, Liverpool 0. Keita sets up Robertson. Salah is there, goes for the diving header, makes no connection. Ball still in play though. Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. It's in. Naby Keita has squeezed the ball over the line, or has he? Yes, he has. Ward-Prowse shot his block, but suddenly Liverpool are coming forward now. It's Mo Salah. He's got Firmino for company. Salah! He's got the goal that he and Liverpool so desperately wanted. Mo Salah has made it Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Here's Firmino. Here's Henderson. Liverpool have wrapped it up. Jordan Henderson hasn't scored for 71 games prior to tonight, but that goal side footed home from the low cross will surely wrap it up. Southampton have conceded 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and Liverpool are heading back to the top of the table. Well, there you have it. It wasn't a straightforward victory for Liverpool, but it was the victory they wanted. And as we've said, they are 2 points clear at the top of the table. They only have 5 games to go in the league. Those games are at home to Chelsea, away to Cardiff, at home to Huddersfield, away to Newcastle, and at home to Wolves. You take the Chelsea game out of that sequence, and it's relatively kind, isn't it? Newcastle might well be safe by then. Wolves could be thinking about an FA Cup final potentially if they win on Sunday.
Well, look, there's plenty of twists and turns. I mean, on their day, Wolves can beat anyone. We've seen that. Will certainly make it hard, as Southampton did here. Look, you've got to give them credit, because really until the final few moments here, they were still in the game. They expended an awful lot of energy, you've got to say, and it was a terrific performance from Southampton in the first half. Arguably could have been another goal up, but look, the changes I think were really good. They changed the game. Arguably Henderson and Milner were marvellous when they came on. They had a really good impact, raised the tempo, the quality, the ball moved that little bit quicker. I think you could sense the urgency, certainly, you know, and I guess a little bit of a restlessness coming from Klopp on the sidelines, but it was a vastly improved performance. Look, as soon as they came out in the second half, they'd had 2 crosses, they got in the final third in the first couple of minutes, so they knew they had to raise their tempo. They did, and they got the valuable 3 points.
Manchester City have a very, very busy month in April. They've got an FA Cup semi-final tomorrow. They played Tottenham Hotspur 3 times, twice in the Champions League and once in the Premier League, and they also have to face Manchester United. So when you look at those fixtures, the potential, I suppose, for dropping points is greater in Manchester City's fixtures than it might be in Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, basically they're playing twice a week for a month.
Yeah.
You know, so that is hard for anybody
even
to
with
do.
a big squad, that's tough. Yeah.
Even with the big squad. What I would say, though, out of those games they've got left, arguably, you know, the United derby and the Tottenham game at home are the two, and they come very closely together. The Tottenham game is on the Saturday, and then the United derby, Manchester derby, is on the Wednesday, so that's a big few days.
Yeah, it's a fantastic title battle, and it's very, very difficult to see which way it'll go. Southampton are still involved in a battle. We're both convinced that they probably will stay up, but they were beaten today by 3-1, which keeps them very much in the relegation zone. So as the Liverpool fans drift away from St Mary's and face the long journey back to Merseyside, they'll be in tremendous heart. They didn't play particularly well today. The goals by Keita, Salah and Henderson after an opening goal by Shane Long has given them victory. My thanks to David Connolly for your insight today. Don't forget, we've got Cup and League for you all weekend. Manchester City against Brighton in the semi-final of the FA Cup tomorrow evening. Newcastle against Palace is our featured game in the 3 o'clock Premier League kickoffs. Then we've got Bournemouth against Burnley and Huddersfield and Leicester. We're at the other semi-final as well, Watford against Wolves, and we're covering Everton against Arsenal and Chelsea against West Ham. The football just keeps on coming here, and tonight Liverpool have returned to the top of the table. Very good night from me, John Anderson. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. Is the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Has a run of Sterling to find, and he does find him in the area. Raheem Sterling for a hat-trick here! And the hat-trick is gobbled up by Raheem Sterling. What a player this young man is.
Tries to play it forward. Hayward puts it up in the air. Comes down. Chance for 3-2. It is 3-2. Perez scores again. Well, it's times to be a Geordie fan from 2-0 down to 3-2 up.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Really good delivery from Knockout. Here's the ball into the back of the net. And Andone has scored for Brighton. There is the breakthrough.
And Wolves win possession through Jimenez. Jimenez, he's going to go himself. There's another chance here. Go for 2-0 possibly. Jimenez! Jimenez, 2-0 to Wolves. And Cardiff are now all at sea.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
First time touch trying to find Lukaku. It's broken his way and Lukaku's bent it into the bottom corner for what may well prove to be the winning goal in the final minutes of the 90.
He's usually unerring from the spot, Harry Kane. He's scored all his last 5 spot kicks. He faces Bernd Leno and scores again! And Tottenham Hotspur have levelled with 16 minutes to go. Harry Kane has now got 9 goals in 9 games against the Gunners. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Community Shield, live from Wembley Stadium, the home of football.
Heading forward for Chelsea, and turned in for Chelsea. Early doors, Victor Moses has scored the first goal of the brand new season.
It's the Premier League champions against the FA Cup winners.
The blue moon rises over the rest of the Premier League once again.
Cesare Azpilicueta and Gary Cahill, who lift the FA Cup for Chelsea.
English football is back.
Now De Bruyne's got another shot! The breakthrough! Kevin De Bruyne!
Up goes Christensen.
Follow-up shot is in! They've done it, Chelsea! It's Giroud again! Oh my goodness me, what a comeback!
The Community Shield, live.
We are back. Welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Chelsea against Manchester City from Wembley Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Charlton, Wimbledon and Southampton striker, Jason Ewell. You're listening to the 2018 Community Shield Live. And the curtain is officially being raised on the top flight season today as the FA Cup winners from May, Chelsea, take on the team that smashed the league to smithereens with such ease last campaign in Manchester City. City made the toughest league in world football look like a 3-year-old competing in the UFC last season. It wasn't that the others weren't trying, they just never stood a chance. Chelsea have made their change to try and catch up. Out with Antonio Conte, who looked like a dead man walking long before that FA Cup triumph here in May. In comes the enigmatic Maurizio Sarri, whose Napoli side pushed all-conquering Juventus all the way last season and played in a style that might finally put a smile on the face of Roman Abramovich should it be emulated in London. Nobody's retained the Premier League since 2009. Maybe nobody has won it in such style, so the test has never been greater for Pep Guardiola, who says fear of failure has left him starving for more success this season. Today won't give us many indications of how this season will go, with so many missing after their World Cup exploits, but it will show us if the hunger to win is still there, whatever the level of competition. Let's talk about the team news for this game, shall we? Of course, as I mentioned, many players still not back from World Cup duty. Very interesting team for Chelsea. For the first time in a few years, they've gone back to 4 at the back. Of course, Antonio Conte's favourite formation was a 3. Willy Caballero starts in goal for them. David Luiz, remember him? He's back in the starting lineup. Ross Barkley also gets the nod in the centre of midfield alongside the controversial Jorginho, who, if rumour is to be believed, was only a few minutes away from joining Manchester City. So here's your Chelsea team. Caballero in goal. Back 4 for the Blues of Alonso, Rudiger, Luis and Azpilicueta. Midfield trio, Ross Barkley, Jorginho and Cesc Fabregas. Pedro, who's just signed a new contract on one wing. On the other is Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's really impressed in pre-season. Alvaro Morata is up front. Ben Drinkwater, Moses, Abraham, Zappacosta, Willian, Christensen and the young goalkeeper Bulka. For Manchester City, Claudio Bravo gets the nod in goal. Young Phil Foden gets a start in midfield. Riyad Mahrez makes his debut for Manchester City. And also, 2 guys who were in the semi-final of the World Cup a few weeks ago. Turns out they're okay to play. Kyle Walker and John Stones, both fresh and starting. Raheem Sterling not involved in the squad. He's having a longer break from the World Cup. So it's Bravo in goal. Back 4 left to right of Mendy, who makes a start for the first time in over a year following his injury last season. Laporte, Stones and Walker complete the back 4. Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho and Phil Foden 3 in midfield. Riyad Mahrez, Leroy Sané and Sergio Aguero up front. Bench is Kompany, Gundogan, Otamendi, Ederson, Jesus, Diaz and Claudio Gomez, the young defensive midfielder brought in this summer. Jason Ewell, you enjoyed your time off from football? Do you have time to go on holiday? Quick weekend?
No, I did, surprisingly, and it's good to be back. You said off air, it seems like we haven't been away for too long, I think, because the World Cup sort of got us through the break, and looking forward to the game. If you thought would this be a dead rubber, testimonial, boring game?
It sometimes can be. It's very hard. It's first game of the season.
Yeah.
Sarri's only been in charge for 2.5 weeks.
But then, like I said, they've got something to prove, isn't it? Because the window's still open till Thursday. There's still time for him to get players in that he wants to get. And similar to Guardiola, he wants to win trophies. So it's a case of everyone's still got something to prove to their managers.
Loads of questions about the teams, which we'll get to, but let's start with the managers in this section of the programme, and let's talk about Maurizio Sarri. Never won a trophy, a major trophy in his career, approaching 60 years of age. He's come in bringing that kind of brash style of football and maybe brash style of personality as well. But don't Chelsea want to win things at all costs? And if that's the case, he's not the right guy, is he?
Well, I think he said about the style of play that they're looking to bring to Stamford Bridge, and even though he hasn't been successful, won anything, he's still been proven to show that it's about the entertainment and the excitement of the game as well. And even Guardiola said it, is that he would change the face of the Premier League in the way they do things. And what Napoli did over the last couple of years, everyone who watches Italian football will see the type of style that he plays, and there's an opportunity for him to go and do something different, because yes, it was something new when Conte come in and done the three at the back and they won the league. Last year didn't go quite well, but now it's a case of people do want to see a bit of change. They want to be a little bit adaptable in terms of, even when things are not going right, do we just stick with three at the back, what Conte did? This guy is going to be someone that's going to go the way he wants to go. He's going to change it if he has to change it, but he wants to do it by winning games of football and doing it with a bit of excitement as well.
What could he have done in 3 weeks or so as manager? Because the replacement of Conte, it took a crazy amount of time to get it done. Whatever he can do, knowing he's going to get this job back in Italy, you know, he might have been planning for it, but you can't do much till you get on the training ground with the players, and he's not even got Eden Hazard and Willian back, if he ever gets them back at this point.
I mean, I spoke to one of the players a couple of weeks ago who's just now gone on loan, and he was saying for the time that he'd been in, he said it was just constant tactical stuff. And when he said that to me, I said, well, because he's obviously trying to stamp his authority and get everyone on the same page early. So he said the training sessions haven't been sort of your routine passing drills, possessions. What he said, it's just literally everything's been tactically based. So the passing drill is about the formation and how we do things. The possession stuff is about how we play with and without the ball. So he's trying to install that as his first priority, knowing that he's playing catch up amongst everybody else. So it'll be good to sort of see if there are implements sort of shown today. And would he be given a time period? I'd hope so, in terms of if he doesn't get the right results the first 2-3 games, but you can see things happening, I think everyone at Chelsea will be happy with that.
And what of Manchester City, of course, champions last year with 100 points, over 100 goals, 30 points ahead of Chelsea. They finished 70 to 100. Fantastic season. I mean, this is going to be impossible to match that for Pep Guardiola, isn't it? And they've only brought in Riyad Mahrez.
But I think what the good thing is with Guardiola, every year he evolves, and I think it's one of those ones where you're probably going to see some stuff exactly the same, but it's going to be tweaked, it's going to be enhanced, because you always want to be looking to improve. The same as every year of every club. You finish in 8th, you want to finish in 7th, so on and so forth. For him, it's going to be, we worked with this and it was successful, but we're going to have to do that and more. And I think that's going to be another challenge for those boys now, that know that every time they play, there's going to be even more pressure on them. And I think with the group that he's got, I think he knows the players that can deal with it and those that can't. So I don't think he's probably going to look to bring too many changes. He says only the one at the moment, possibly a couple during the week, we don't know. But he's still very happy with the young boys that he took on pre-season tour of them. So they're little ones that can come in and probably add that little bit of difference to be classed as a, quote, new signing if need be.
The last 4 editions of the Community Shield have all been won by the reigning FA Cup champions, with Manchester United in 2013 the last reigning league champions to be victorious in this match. So Chelsea favourites, right? Maybe not. You're listening to the 2018 Community Shield live with TalkSport.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
The ball is broken through to Sterling, into Gundogan, lovely turn! And a lovely goal by Gundogan! It's 2-0 to Manchester City, and there's the skill that we've come accustomed to. Superb tight control, a toe poke finish. No chance for the best keeper in the world.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, once of Spurs, also Stoke and West Ham too. Matthew Etherington is a former Arsenal man, once of Southend United, these days a top Premier League journalist. It's only Adrian Clark, isn't it?
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
The brand new season is upon us here. Premier League starts next week. This week we have the Premier League champions up against the FA Cup winners in the 2018 Community Shield. Big headline team news. Some young talent out there today. Callum Hudson-Odoi starts for Chelsea. Phil Foden for Manchester City. Also a debut for City for Riyad Mahrez. One for Chelsea in Jorginho. Lots of stories ahead of this one, including Maurizio Sarri's first game in charge of Chelsea in English football. Let's hear from him. We can also hear from the City boss, Pep Guardiola.
Guardiola, for me, is a friend, but not only. Unfortunately, he is, I think, the best coach in the world now. So the match for us is very difficult for one reason. They have worked all together for 2 years, and we started 2 weeks and a half ago. For us, I think will be a very, very, very difficult match.
Chelsea look to defend here the first City attack of the second half. Davidson with the ball across the face of goal and turned in at the far post by Bernardo Silva. Well, they laboured throughout the first 45 minutes without being able to find a way through. The match fractured the Chelsea defence.
First of all, I'm delighted, happy that manager at that level is here in the Premier League. I'm going to learn a lot to see him every weekend. Last season was more complicated just when we play against them, and sometimes being here I feel that we're going to improve a lot about his ideas here in England. So I saw 3 games against Spurs, Inter and Arsenal. Immediately I saw he got it, so he did it. So the team already in short time plays like he wants, and of course needs more time to to work everything, but the ideas is already there, so I think it will be a good game tomorrow.
To Coutinho, edge of the area, right foot, great save, Courtois! Oh, glorious effort from Felipe Coutinho, and Courtois sprung to his left and palmed it away.
At the moment, Courtois is the goalkeeper of the club, Chelsea. And so I don't know in the future. It depends on the club. It depends especially on him, I think. But I hope that Courtois will be our goalkeeper.
Well, they're running through, challenged by Matic, fouled by Matic, but the ball has broken through to Sterling, into Gundogan, lovely turn! And a lovely goal by Gundogan! And City are steamrolling their way to becoming Premier League champions on April 7th.
Of course, we want to win the final. We try to the short time together to review what we have done, analyze a little bit what Chelsea will be, try to what we have to do, and then play the final. And of course, we wanna win it. The situations we have. So also for Chelsea, it's not the easy situation. Of course, they was more time together this far, but also we have time work from the last 2 years. 2 seasons, so we're going to try and see if physical condition is coming, to see what we work this short time, it works or not, and every game show you if you are in good path or not, and after that 1 week to go to Emirates against Arsenal and start the season.
Yeah, what a battle this could be this season between Sarri and Pep Guardiola. Jason, you're alongside me, Tom Rennie, for today's Community Shield. If it is to be a battle between these two, and we hope it is after the canter that was last year's Premier League title,